crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Crossover.
Yeah.
Good
start.
Whoa, Doc.
And
Time to clean out the garage, buddy. Come on.
And your
What?
point.
What?
And your
He has a piston cup? Oh, my gosh. 3 piston cups?
Sign says stay out.
You have 3 piston cups. How could you have...
I knew you couldn't drive. I didn't know you couldn't read.
You're the Hudson Hornet.
Wait over at Flo's like I told you.
Of course. I can't believe it. I didn't see it before. You're the fabulous Hudson Hornet. You still hold the record for most wins in a single season. Oh, God, we got to talk. You got to show me your tricks, please.
I already tried that.
And you won the championship 3 times. Look at those trophies.
You look. All I see is a bunch of empty cups.
Doc, hold it. Seriously, your driving's incredible.
Wonderful. Now go away.
Hey, I mean it. You still got it.
I'm asking you to leave.
Come on. I'm a race car. You're a much older race car, but under the hood, you and I are the same.
We are not the same. Understand? Now get out.
How could a car like you quit at the top of your game?
You think I quit? You think I quit?
How could... Right.
You think I quit?
Your big wreck in 54.
They quit on me. When I finally got put together, I went back expecting a big welcome. You know what they said? Your history. Moved right on to the next rookie. Standing in line. There was a lot left in me. I never got a chance to show them. I keep that to remind me never to go back. I just never expected that world would find me here.
Hey, look, Doc, I'm not them.
Oh, yeah?
No, I'm not.
When was the last time you cared about something except yourself? Hot Rod, you name me one time, and I'll take it all back. I didn't think so. These are good folk who care about one. I don't want them depending on someone they can't count on.
Oh, like you? You've been here how long, and your friends don't even know who you are? Who's caring only about himself?
Just finish that road and get out of here.
Hey, why does Lightning keep saying Milwaukee? Hey, you know, if McQueen was riding Tony Romo, I don't think he would have gotten a mugshot today.
Gross.
That is gross.
Come on,
Driving
why'd you say that?
for Tony Romo.
Now, can we explain why we just did a script,
Well-
a table reading of a scene from Cars?
Well, we had the great idea. We were just quoting it. And I said, John Bishop doesn't listen to Middays with Matt. He definitely won't hear this. Let's do a dramatic reading of the Cars script to start the crossover. And then we told all of our friends who might know you to not tell you that we were going to do this. And for the last hour, I've been setting out the script. We're going to do an emotional reading at some point with Nick as well. He'll be in the full. We're just going to take a break here for a second. But this is something that we did. I thought that my Lightning was incredible. Austin's Doc could use a little work, but it was great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I
It
just
was
don't.
nice.
I don't have the bass. I'm more of a tenor.
No,
so.
it's like you got to go. They quit on me.
All
When
right.
I finally got put together, I went back expecting a big welcome. You know what they said? Your history. Move to the next rookie standing in line.
John, you've had this happen before.
There was a lot left in me.
You know when you get a call from like the Make-A-Wish and they're like, "Hey, will you do something nice for a child in need?" That was.
Don't
this
act
moment.
like you didn't want to do it. All right.
I have done many a misfortune to Matt McMaster's psyche over the years.
That
and
is
I thought-
over the years. You've known me for about 8 months.
I thought to myself, this is my chance to do what's right. And I said, you know what? Let's make sure that we do the right thing for Matt. So I'm sorry that we pranked you so hard there.
So hard. We got you.
You've
We
been
got you.
pranked.
I feel God.
Punked.
I feel God.
Boom, roasted.
I feel God.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
Gross.
Still want to know why Lightning keeps calling it Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
I never said Milwaukee
You
during the
just did.
script.
It turns out FIB is an acronym that makes fun of Matt, which I really appreciate.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. What is that?
Effin Illinois
B.
John- B word. Jon Snow.
Oh,
You can say bastard.
you're allowed
Yeah.
to say bastard.
I don't like saying that word on the radio.
See, fib is another way for saying someone's lying. You're fibbing.
yeah, which is
So when
why
I saw that, I thought, oh, who is he accusing?
No,
me
no,
of?
no.
I thought everyone was just calling you a
classic,
liar.
classic effing Illinois bastard.
Fun idea. So, say the United States is broken up into the different sections like Westeros is.
Oh, like states.
If you were a bastard in the Midwest, yes. If you were a bastard in the Midwest, more like regions,
Okay.
what would your last name be? And so
Perkins.
on for other regions.
Perkins, like the cafe.
I was thinking more
It's
like
not a
Ford.
cafe. Perkins isn't a cafe.
Or
Perkins?
It's a restaurant, a
Why
bakery,
did-
if
why did
anything.
we get stuck with Perkins?
it's a classic. It's a classic Midwestern.
Okay, for someone who has not seen this, can you explain what am I supposed to be doing?
So in Game of Thrones, if you're
Okay,
a
Perkins would be
bastard,
great.
depending on the
I
area
mean, I have
of the
nothing
continent
against
that you're born
Perkins,
on,
but-
you get a last name. So if you're in the north and you're a bastard, your last name is Snow.
Yeah,
oh,
if you're a-
okay.
Some other region, it's Sand.
yeah.
Rivers,
if you're
so
a
on and so
bastard in Wisconsin, your last name is
forth.
Culver.
Curd.
Or
Culver.
cheese. Yeah,
Curd.
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 I think it has. You're being too specific with it, right? Like they weren't naming.
All right, so Nebraska would be what? Corn.
Probably. It's
Nick
not exciting,
Corn,
but it's probably what
John
it is.
Corn.
I want to be Austin Aquifer.
John
Bang.
Corn is kind of cool.
Yeah,
John
what
Corn
would
rocks.
Missouri be? Missing teeth?
That's too many
Well,
letters.
like
No,
I said, it's-
fireworks and porn.
See, you're trying to make this more
Thorn.
like a Native American
No,
name. You're going
but
too far.
you're
Or
going-
fireworks?
Matt, you're not. You're still not fully understanding. You're going
No,
state by
I'm
state.
I'm understanding.
I'm talking region.
You know
so
what,
Midwest.
Nick? I don't care about your
Southwest.
rules. I don't really care. I don't care. I don't. It's just
That's yesterday.
sorry.
It's fine if you don't care, but you're not doing the thing that I brought up. So
Yeah.
really, you're just being an idiot.
How about in Texas, Spurs for sure, and then in Florida, we'll just call it last name Dolphins. You know, that'd be great. A lot of Dolphins.
No, in Florida, we just say man.
Good one. That's a good one.
Florida man.
That's a great one.
I have a
How about you answer your own question, Nick? What would you
Well,
you
I was
call,
hoping for collaboration here, but you're just kind
what
of
would
being
you
a
call
dweeb about it.
what would
you
you
didn't just
call
did you pull the dweeb
what
card?
about people on the West Coast?
It's a one beer Friday. You
I
can't
would
call 'em a
recommend
dweeb.
kale. How would you feel about that for West
I don't
Coast
think kale
bastard
is-
names?
I don't think kale is the thing most associated with that region.
Oh, well, I'm collaborating here.
No, that's good.
That's
We're
all I'm doing.
brainstorming. You're just doing it intentionally badly.
McMaster is going to make it his quest to be in a feud with every producer on this radio station,
Without a doubt.
except Odson.
Yeah,
'Cause it has to be nice to him.
because I have to be.
Yeah.
So two producers.
Well, true.
Two whole people.
Bang. I have a feud.
I'm in. You could say I'm in a feud with Happer. Happer and I are always feuding.
That is
Beefing?
true.
You know,
Do you,
That
got,
is
do you
true.
got beef?
you and I are feuding a lot. I definitely yell at you, and you yell at me more than I yell at Peterson. But then you kind of level it off by yelling at Josh,
Well,
and
that's
then we
'cause
have moments we yell at Josh together.
Has put his big wing over you to protect you from the realities of
He's doing a
AM
terrible
radio.
job. He's doing an awful job at protecting me.
John's the guy from Bird Box that keeps opening your eyes. It's like, look outside.
Wow.
Take a look.
I think
This is reality,
look,
reference.
listen.
Look
I-
at the YouTube
my-
comments, Matt.
That's what he does. He always read the text messages. He's like, text from Jay Skirtod. Matt's the most insufferable human I've ever listened to. Oh, that's real protective, Josh. Here's what
That is
happened.
very true.
My radio career started by being thrown into a river and being told swim. And now it's adjusted to Peterson's thrown me a log, a singular log.
He
I have
poops on you?
no, I
Oh.
have a stick.
Is it a
Giggity.
log or a stick?
Are not all sticks logs?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Probably a log. More accurately, a log
Oh,
was thrown.
That's Pacific Northwest. Your last name is Log.
Nice.
Look at that collaboration.
Bang.
This, see what you started with this
Yeah.
people read?
Yeah, this is
It's
what I
just
did.
gone completely off the rails.
Hey, yo, DJ.
No, stop. I'm not doing this again.
What? We
I
got
wanna-
ourselves a
stop.
nutter.
I think once was enough.
Everyone gave
It was
up.
a great idea, but once was enough.
Nick and I did, just so you know, Matt, I did approach Nick and I said, would it be better if we just ignored Matt's secret plan and just did our own plan?
And I said it would have been really funny, but Austin played along, so I'm like, I guess it's out the window.
Well, we
I-
didn't come up with a script fast
I
enough.
can't trust this guy as far as I can throw him.
You
You're
can't-
always
Which guy?
Where can you throw me?
all of you. This is why I refuse to
Me, I'm
collaborate.
just standing here. I'm just
No, you're
trying to
always
figure out-
planning. You're like, what if we did this to him this time?
Why do we always
I'm
use
not
that
planning
voice for
anything
John?
against you. I'm
True.
not plotting against you.
Hey, how do you feel that you're the only person that did Fun Shirt Friday?
I don't care.
That's kind of a hunk of
I don't
crap,
care.
though. It's not Thursday, John. Come on.
That's true. No, I'm all right.
We should make
doesn't look like a fun shirt Friday. It's too gloomy.
We should
and
just
misty.
we
Dreary.
should make a drop that is just like this isn't Thursday. It's not Thursday. You should play that. It's
Well,
become a
we
good
just
bit.
pretty much we say it so many times we
Yeah.
don't really need to do the drop.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of thing.
I wish I had a little.
There's your drops, and then there's your things you say.
Quotes.
Ooh,
I
good
want.
point.
So I got big clock. I think the next thing
Yeah.
I now want.
I have big clock.
I have big clock. I got a very big clock.
We do have a big clock.
I now want
have big
small
clock.
sound panel. Is what I want.
Why do you want?
What?
You want small sound.
I want small sound panel right
he wants
here,
to do his own drops.
so I can press
You
what
realize
drops.
if you slide one seat to the left,
Ain't happening.
you get the whole phalanx of drops that the producer
That's
has
true.
available.
We actually just
and
have
more.
one.
This is like Satan presenting the city. You know, just being like, you get it all. You can
Satan.
have all of
You
it.
can even make your own page and do whatever you want on it.
We finally get a studio where we've got counter space, and
Mhm.
you want to make clutter.
I love clutter. Matt McClutter. That's what they call me.
Yeah,
We
you
know
said you
like
like garbage
clutter
bags in your room.
because you usually leave your wallet
Okay.
laying around, your
That's-
muff, everything else.
That is a massive spin of words here. I have garbage bags full of clothes that I need to donate to Goodwill.
Oh, you still haven't done that yet?
Are your towels still in your bedroom closet?
No,
Nick,
no.
quick
I
question. If
stopped.
someone was trying to send you an email.
I stopped
what would
doing
it be?
that.
The Equitable Bank inbox.
Where they take
Nick
banking
is
personally.
1620thezone.com.
Okay, thank you.
We've guilted
I don't
you?
like that he's silent over there typing right now.
Don't worry about me.
I do not trust what is going on over there.
Let's
in
go
the
back to
slightest.
let's go back a second.
Okay.
Have we guilted you out of hanging your wet towels in your closet?
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah,
Hold
100%.
on. What do you mean? What are you
Or
doing
is
with
this,
your wet
or is
towels?
this a function of being in a new apartment? Now you have actual places to put your towels appropriately.
It's a little bit of both.
So where are you putting your towels?
In the bathroom.
On a hook?
Yes.
Okay. That
And
is
then
acceptable.
And then I put third towel hanging over.
Third
What
towel?
did you send him?
I didn't send him anything.
He's now laughing at something. This
What
is ridiculous. They are hijacking a great
We're not.
conversation
No,
right
you,
now.
Well, if you would just focus on your conversation with John, I could have my conversation with Nick.
Nick, read what you were just said.
I can't.
It's
there's-
hard to read. It's a
There's
photo.
no words.
Yeah, there's no
I
words.
can't read that.
No, don't look at it. So if only you sat in this chair, you could operate the soundboard and you could look at your producer's computer.
That's true.
What did you
I don't
do?
even work here.
What did you do?
What about your conversation with John? I thought you were excited to talk.
We ain't going anywhere until it was explained what was just sent to Nick Grimm. We are not going anywhere in terms of a conversation.
Oh.
Nick, you can put it up on the stream if you'd like.
Yep. 1 sec.
Okay.
Oh, he's working on it.
He's working
Well,
on it.
Well, while he's working on it,
Mhm.
what is third towel?
I just have an email I must read here.
Oh,
Hi, Matt.
This is the crossover where we start a conversation, then it veers off in another direction, then we take up the original conversation after it veers off in another direction.
well, I'll tell you this. It's not like these kids will get off their damn phones, John. Seriously.
That is true.
He's
Hi-
just trying to have a conversation with you, and all you're doing
No,
is
I
staring
just-
at your phone. That's at 7%. Matt. 4%.
There's literally a charging port right there.
Thank you, John.
Hi, Matt. I enjoy your show.
Hi.
Just went to your X site to participate in the latest poll. Did not realize until viewing your X photo that you have quite a widow's peak. No criticism. Looks good compared to my ever deteriorating hairline. Are you familiar with Eddie Munster? Good sitcom character in the 60s and had the ultimate widow's peak. Could be your inspiration.
What is a widowspeak.com?
I'm losing my hair.
What? You're kidding.
Actually, I mean, from this angle, it almost looks like you have one too, Austin. You don't, but it's just the way your hair's coming down.
I got one.
Really? It's tough.
My wife compliments it all the time. She says, "I love your widow's peak."
Mm.
Look at that. Look at my hairline.
Where does the name Widow's Peak come from?
It's
Every guy who's ever had one has died. If they're married.
Oh, most people die. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
crazily. Most
Yeah.
people.
die.
I think every person with every hairdo has ever had has died.
Nope, it's
That's-
only men with widow's peaks who are
that's
married. They're the only
100%
ones who
stat,
died.
yeah.
Yeah.
There aren't very many 100% stats in this world, but that
Everybody
one,
who's ever drank water, dead.
That was
Dang.
probably the most honest thing that was said at SEC Media Days this week. We're all
What's
going to
that?
die.
What?
That was the most factual thing
That is
said
true.
the entire time in Tampa, Florida.
What was the inspiration for that?
He was talking about how he had taken time off of social media and he just kind of got really existential about things and
well,
how
and it
we're all
was,
going to die. You shouldn't worry about.
Yeah, and it was
Oh,
during
okay.
his
Okay.
answer about trying to continue coaching Ole Miss during the college football playoff
I
as well.
see.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, that picture. What's happening here?
I don't know. I'm not a producer. I'm just hanging out. It's up to the discretion. I trust Nick with the process of the stream. All
Yeah,
right? So you don't need to worry about
I'm getting there. I had to.
Did
text
you take a
somebody.
picture of me when I was leaned back? What were
No,
you doing?
not everything's about you, dude.
Yeah,
I feel
Matt.
like it is. You know, it's my show's got my name on it.
youngest child.
I am a youngest. No, I'm a middle child actually.
Are you middle child, John?
No, I'm oldest. Who technically is in possession? I think the crossover is neutral ground. No one's in possession of it.
I have
It's kind of
always
like the 38th parallel.
No,
As
I
someone
thought-
who floats in here, I always find it to be the show that is coming in. It is their crossover.
See, and I
Oh.
thought that we established that before 2:00 it's still Matt's show, and then after 2:00 it's our show.
Interesting.
But it's still the crossover.
But the crossover for this show goes on to this podcast feed, I believe.
That is correct.
Yes, it does.
And it's under our banner
Mhm.
on the YouTube stream.
Interesting.
Is this the international waters of 1620 the zone? Is what you're
Something
saying?
like that.
Crossover?
the date
Something like
Yeah,
that.
that's very nice.
38th parallel.
There's a Carnival cruise somewhere out here hanging out.
Have you ever been on a cruise?
No, God, no.
No.
I never want to go on
I-
one of
Neither
those
do I.
toilets.
Refuse
Ooh.
to ever go on a cruise.
I would
That's
never
a-
go on a cruise.
That just made me think of something because, most of those cruises usually end with some kind of illness that causes great stomach
Good
issues.
point.
What if, the old saying, fight fire with fire? What if we stashed all the Taco Bell poop lettuce on a Carnival cruise?
That'd be a great idea. We could have Poop Cruise Part 2. People would pay for that, by the way. So
They
some
probably
sickos would.
They probably would.
Did you
But
watch that documentary of the Poop Cruise?
I did not.
They started like Bible studies after the third day.
Oh, I'm sure they
were
did.
like, it's the rapture. This is how it ends. Which is kind of a crazy way to go about it. But, to each their own, I suppose.
All right, I'm gonna put in the stream what Austin. had.
Oh, okay.
There it is. It's John Bishop, Bird Box.
I'm proud of that.
It's a good one.
Very well done.
Thank you.
Looks good.
I don't remember that scene at all. I don't remember anything from Bird Box because I watched it on my phone during COVID and I never saw it again.
You could put it as the next movie club.
Yeah.
Make it Bird Box.
I don't know if I want
Uh,
to watch Bird Box.
Kind of
again.
creepy movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a good movie.
Never saw it.
But was that COVID that it came out?
Yes.
Is that why people?
That's why
fell in love
everybody
with
was watching
Okay,
it because
that's
there was
right.
nothing. It was Tiger King and Bird Box.
Yeah.
People loved
I'm
animals.
glad I
during
chose
COVID.
Tiger King.
Yeah. What's he doing these days? Is Tiger King busy?
Time.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yep. He's in jail. Forgot
Yeah.
about that.
What's Carol doing?
Yeah. What's that bee doing?
Oh,
What's Baskin? What's
Carol
doing?
Baskin.
yeah,
Carol
she's
Baskin.
Probably,
Let's
she's
see what
probably,
she's up
she's
to.
probably killing other people.
I'm
Listen,
pretty sure she got charged with something as well.
well,
if I'm not
if
mistaken.
her husband from the documentary is dead, I'm starting to believe it might be her. So
Yeah, who else would it be? I mean, according to our judicial system, we're just still trying to figure out who,
She in 2023 she did a reality competition called House of Villains.
you know what? I'd like to see her on Love Island. Let's put Carol Baskin on Love Island just to throw her in as a bombshell. That'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
a bombshell in the worst way possible.
And a new bombshell has entered the villa. It's Carol Baskin.
Have you watched that because of things? Because of your fiance? Have
Yeah,
you
she
watched?
loves Love Island UK.
Do you enjoy it?
I don't. I'm usually doing other things during that time.
You're
Cooking
being
and
the
cleaning.
you're doing the trad
Yeah,
wife.
I'm doing the
things.
trad wife.
Good
Like,
for you.
Basically, if Love Island UK was her Monday Night Football, I am just the woman in the kitchen, like, dinner's getting ready, honey. That's me. We're having chicken cutlets again.
What is the Sunday Night Football theme comparison for Love Island? What is the do 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 do?
That's a good question. It probably is just that Love Island song. It's also, what else is she watching? She's really into
Love on
that-
the Spectrum.
No, the Housewives shows. So we are on to
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
we finished that one. We're on to, and when I mean we, I mean her. She is now on to
The Real Housewives of
shows.
Atlanta.
No, Rhode Island. We're on Rhode Island. Yeah.
Oh,
Which,
okay. A little East Coast
honestly,
flavor.
the women of Providence, yuck.
What-
Who's watching that?
What do you mean?
They're gross.
There's some Nantucket wives. They're very
Why are
pretty
you
women.
calling women gross?
Because
Yeah,
they're from
he doesn't like
Providence.
women.
That's true. I like one.
You're like, well, man.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, having gone to Providence many times and experienced the only culture that exists in Providence, that's Friar basketball. I can acquiesce to what Austin's
Yeah,
saying. I'm
but-
guessing that Housewives of Rhode Island is pretty mean.
But John, they own boats, so they're immediately tens. I mean, they're immediately incredible. If you want me to marry you, own a boat. I'll get down on one knee immediately.
Wow. So you don't have any aspirations of owning your own boat, just
You
If
just
I
want
can
to
get there
inherit someone-
quicker, better.
Wow.
I will
okay.
take shortcuts to boats for sure.
Why do you like boats so much?
Because I want to fish. I want to be out in the water. What, you don't like
you wanna
boats?
Fish in the boat.
I'm
Yes,
not.
Boats.
I'm not
Boats,
excited
boats,
about boats. No, I mean
Boats.
I'll take a boat if necessary, but it's definitely not
You're the
something
only
I
one
would
in here
want
who I
to. I
knew
would
would
want
get
to
that.
own.
Yeah,
I want a boat. I really want a boat. That's my life.
You're not a
goal.
jet. You look like a jet ski guy.
No,
Also
God,
because
no.
you're single.
Absolutely not. No, I want a Lund deep V boat.
You don't like jet skis?
Yeah.
No, I've
See,
never been
okay.
on a jet ski, and I
Jet
don't
skis
want
are
to be on a
fun.
jet ski.
That-
There are too many people who get in jet ski
But
accidents.
listen, that
Well, that's
brings
because they're
up,
stupid.
Exactly. You think? Look at me. You think I'm
Okay,
Einstein?
It's a. Okay, you self.
I know exactly. It's self-scouting here. I wouldn't
thought-
do well on a
thought
jet
you were
ski.
more worried about the other idiots on jet skis. Getting
Absolutely not. Thank
yeah,
you.
the people who are always saying, "Oh, well, money can't buy everything," but have you ever seen someone that's not happy on a jet ski? I've seen a lot of miserable people on jet skis. They're
Plenty.
losers. All right.
Plenty.
Wow.
I don't
Jet
understand
ski
how jet
owners-
skis work. I know there's a way they work, but I choose not to look into it. I believe it's just devil magic.
Okay.
It's just water spurts up and they go. I don't know how that works, but sure.
Someone at work the other day, I ride my bike to work every once in a while,
Oh,
and
la-di-da.
Okay.
Bike Lane, Austin.
no, it just means I live close. Anyway, one of my coworkers was like, we really don't know how a bike works.
What?
I was like, hold
Okay,
on.
hold
what
on.
Do you mean we do?
This one feels
who's
obvious.
we? And he was like, physicists can't explain. I was like, physicists? What are we talking
Isn't
about?
it just
Is he
chains
just
and
doing the
gears?
B-movie
It's-
script?
Is that when you walked out of the room and just shut the door on Shane?
No answer. No answer. No answer might be an answer.
That was a good one, John. Let me speechless. You win. You win. That was a good one.
Wow.
Well, did he have to shut the door just like the doggy gate?
Hey.
Jeez.
We did show
Wow,
we showed
man.
Shane Jimothy the other day.
Gracious.
He related?
I think
Oof.
Shane and
Comes
Jimothy
out of a baseball bat.
Shane and Jimothy
Oof.
might be one made for each other.
Yeah, I believe that.
Like if Shane was ever like, "Hey, I brought my dog to work," I'd be like, "Oh, really?" I would expect it to look like Jimothy.
Oh, that's that raccoon that's
Yes.
got no back.
Are
Yeah.
you familiar
No
with
back
Jimothy, John?
raccoon.
Google Jimothy.
What is-
Jimothy the raccoon.
Yeah, he's got no back, John.
He's got a back. It's just
He
Is
has
this like
spina
a
bifida.
fictional
back.
character? Or?
No,
Got
he's
no
real.
back.
He's a very real raccoon that
Where's he
lives
from?
in
Montana?
Oregon? I thought it was
something like
Oregon.
that? Yeah.
Wow. Just
Portland.
typing in JI and instantly it autofills.
Uh-oh. We've got breaking news. Breaking news. Are you ready to react?
Is it Sports Flash? Oh, that is Jimmy. Okay, I've seen Jimothy.
CBS NFL analyst and former Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo arrested on suspicion of OWI.
Whoa, I can't believe we're bringing this up on the station for the first time right now.
Mhm,
No
that's
Yeah.
other show has talked about this.
None.
Zero. None of us
None.
have mentioned
It's kind
the
of a tough
breaking
look
news.
because I think that happened a while ago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You think
Kind
if a show was on the air at the time that happened, they
Mhm.
would have talked about it.
Yep.
God, what idiots. Bunch of dumbasses. Wouldn't want to be
Whoa.
them.
What is OWA?
That's what I thought, and they all looked at me
it's
like I was crazy.
Operating while under the influence. So I think
I know. We're
did it specify if he was in a car? Because you could also get an OWI if you're on a bike or a scooter and you're drunk.
He has a wonderful mugshot.
So he must have been
he
on.
does, man. He looks
so he's on a
handsome in
boat?
that.
He must have been on a boat.
Let's see. His
Because
first
usually
offense,
you don't say
In-
operating
in
unless
Yeah.
In Milwaukee? You're on Lake Michigan?
Milwaukee.
At it's like 2 a.m.
I'm
It said
guessing
he
Tony
was
Romo's not in Lake
traveling.
Michigan.
He was traveling
Pretty-
southbound on I-43 on the high-rise bridge. So I imagine he was operating some sort of vehicle.
Oh.
But no, not a boat. It
Yeah,
doesn't-
OWI, I didn't know what that was.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
drive a
either.
boat there.
I'm DWI. I know what that is.
I was
Oh,
like,
it's-
oh my God, he was at Ohio Valley Wrestling?
So it is similar to DUI, but it's used in a legal term for certain states.
Oh, okay. So,
So it's basically a DUI, but because he's in Wisconsin is where it was.
what the
Oh,
W
of course,
stands for
Wisconsin has to
Mhm.
be all different.
Do you think when he
Why
did
isn't this a standardized thing everywhere?
Do you think when
That's
he
a good
did the
question.
field sobriety test, one of the officers was like, "Oh, I don't think it's gonna go right here." I mean,
Jim, I don't know if I can walk that line.
oh, Jim, I see multiple lines. This isn't good. Only Andy Reid. Wow.
I didn't know. I didn't realize that states.
Look,
had
he's
different-
walking sideways. You typically see that in Kansas City, Jim. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you never see Mahomes make a play like this, Jim. Oh,
Anyway, it's stupid that it's different.
Kale for California. That's what they should call bastards. Kale, last name Kale.
I'm just really glad that we brought this up for the first time. Imagine those fresh takes that we had.
Super fresh takes.
As part of unsportsmanlike conduct.
On 1620 the zone.
Seriously, I would like someone to go through with a fine-tooth comb and Zapruder this entire crossover and find out and count the number of times one conversation was starting, then a second began, and then it went back to the
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought the guy talking about my widow's peak was really interesting. You know, I'm just clearly born with it.
Did your phone officially die?
No, I'm at 3%.
Why don't you plug it in?
That's what I said.
It was
John.
85% when I started the day.
When you started the day.
Yeah.
When you woke up this morning.
Yeah.
Got yourself a gun.
Nice.
What? When did I wait? What?
Nice, John.
Why did I get a gun? I didn't get a gun.
It's the lyrics to this theme for Sopranos.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You got got. You got got. He did
the thing that you did to him to you. He got you.
So you were at 85%, and here we are, what, 6 hours later?
Yeah. Whoa.
How much time do you spend on your phone during your own show?
Yeah, you have a
It
show
must
to
be
do.
a lot. How much?
How many TikToks
not
are you
that many
watching?
games
during
on
lunch?
today.
Good point. Vertical videos will drain your phone.
Yeah. That's
I'm
why
always
they're bad and should never happen.
Knock it off.
I'm always consuming content. When I wake up in the morning, I'm on my phone
Why
going
don't
reading
you use your
athletic
computer?
articles, reading. I don't use my computer until I get here. To the
That
office.
can't be good for your mental
The
stimulation.
sentence
No.
that he said is a very normal thing in 2026, but it sounds terrifying.
What?
I never stop consuming content.
I never stop.
That's a
taking in
terrifying
content.
thing.
That
say.
is very terrifying.
That's how I do my job.
Have you ever not consumed content for like an extended period of time?
Never.
It's kind of nice.
Never.
It's nice just to be bored.
That sounds awful.
I
Being
actually-
bored sounds terrible.
It's great to be bored, but then sometimes that voice in the back of your head reaches to the front and it just goes, shouldn't we be doing something?
Why is
And then
Josh
you
calling
get
this a
concerned.
crappy booyer? He's such a hater right now.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Well,
I thought this was a great crossover.
Again,
No,
it's been steering in 18 different directions. In fact, some people would probably come in if they were in law enforcement in Wisconsin and say this crossover is OWI.
That's right. And your mugshot wouldn't be as pretty as Tony's.
No, it wouldn't.
widow's
He's
peak.
a
Because of your
good-looking
widow's
guy.
Because of the widow's peak.
I'm losing my hair. I got to get on Nutrafol or something.
Ooh,
We got ourselves a nodder.
Hey,
he did the
DJ.
thing to you that you wanted to do to them.
Yeah.
What are you being Tony Romo with a crossover
How
right
funny
now?
would it have been if you and I just continued?
Ooh. Oh, okay. Next time.
Yeah,
I love
next time.
talking
good
about
bit.
hypothetical funny bits on the radio. That's incredible.
Well, you should start doing them then.
I should. I'm terrible at them. And I'm terrible at covering the news too. I can't believe nobody talked about Tony Romo before we got here on the show.
You want to know the truth?
What's the truth?
This is the first I've heard of Tony Romo today.
Wow. Once again, doesn't listen to middays with Matt.
We were preparing for unsportsmanlike conduct, a show you're on right
Yes.
now.
On 1620 The Zone.
That's
Yes.
right.
I famously don't listen to a lot of our shows because in case I don't want to be influenced by any of the takes
Dang.
that I get from any of the other hosts. So that way, at least even if we match takes, I know, maybe the listeners don't, that mine came organically, yours came organically.
I did a poll question in honor of unsportsmanlike conduct.
What was it?
It was
What was it?
what's a one loss you could reverse in the Matt Rule era?
I did see that. That's a good question.
It was a fun time. A lot of people don't like that Iowa 2024 loss. We've come to learn.
Oh, shocking. Another Iowa vote has hit
the grum.
Fan
Wow, we
base
hit
is
the radio
obsessed
station.
with Iowa.
Yeah, it's called
Weird.
a rivalry, Nick. What do you mean it's weird?
Yeah, it's
we
weird.
play you every year.
But it's weird if you're giving an option to, I don't know, beat Oregon this year. People are still majoritarily picking Iowa to beat instead of Oregon.
Yeah,
That's weird.
it's called a rivalry. You want to beat your rival. Being a rival is pretty important, especially when you haven't beaten that rival a lot. And
Yeah.
they hold it against you all the time.
And especially when beating that rival might get you to 5 wins.
You
Whoa.
could. Very well
Yeah.
could. Very well could.
It could. You never know.
What if
guys
you
are
went? What if
haters.
Nebraska went 1-11, but they beat Iowa? Would you take it right now?
Would you take a 1-11 season where you beat Iowa or a college football playoff bid?
But you lose to Iowa.
But you lose to Iowa.
This sounds like a great poll question.
Somebody wrote on Twitter like, "If would you take Nebraska being 8-4 and beating Iowa right now?" And I was like, "This is the dumbest question of all time."
What are you talking about?
Of course.
That was the talk last year that Josh Peterson did with door 1 and door 2.
Oh,
do you
yeah,
remember, do
door
you
one
forget
and door
door
two.
talk?
No, I've never.
Door Talk got us
I'm
through an
glad to
entire
say that
month.
in my
It did
radio,
get us through a month.
I'm glad to say that in my radio career, I've never done door segments before. I just do ranking segments. I like ranking everything.
Tier guy.
Well, no, but see, I don't do tiers. I do 1 through 10.
Oh,
I
well.
stand on my takes.
My God.
Yeah, I stand on 10 toes.
No one's ever ranked up to 10.
Nobody's ever
unique
done that.
And new.
No one's ever done that ever before. I'm the what an arbitrary number 10 is. We were like, let's take that arbitrary number 10. Well, let's put it to use.
I like that.
Arbitrary.
All right. Well, I don't know how to land this plane other than to just steer
I
it
don't-
straight
We
into
might
the
as
You know
well
what?
crash
so-
it.
You know what
Crash
to
it,
say?
Chance.
To
Crash
quote-
this plane.
To quote Josh Hodson, Matt, I don't think the plane ever took off.
President Gorbachev, crash this plane.
On this program, we call him Gorbabov.
Oh, that too.
That's the crossover. Yes, mercifully, it's over. 1620 the zone.
I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Great job, Matt. Great bit. Great bit.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
We'll try to rein in the insanity today.
Please, yes. Well, the insanity has just left the building.
I promise you,
true.
we won't quote cars anymore.
Yeah, sorry we had to put you through that, John.
I know that you're fine. It just was weird.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
Welcome to a One Beer Friday. It's good to have you here for the final day of the work week. Austin Jacobson in for Josh.
Yes. Josh is on vacation, by the way. I've gotten a few people like, where's Josh? Is he running a marathon again? Where's Josh? I'm worried about Josh. He's just not here.
See, when I host, when John is out with Josh, that's when the comments are like, whoa.
What happened to John?
What happened to John? I hear Austin's been around a lot, but when Josh is gone, everyone's just like, oh, Josh must be running.
I mean, we do take vacations around here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
And go
about to go
places.
on one.
Yeah. And Josh in Sacramento. Congrats to Josh.
Though he didn't realize he was in Sacramento. If he had been listening when we were saluting, and by the way, hello to our fine friends on 97.7 The Zone.
We haven't
out
forgotten
in the
about you.
Tri-Cities.
Hello.
But when we did our introduction to Central Nebraska, that was literally one of the days. We did Sacramento, we did Newark, and Norman.
Wow. Those are Newark and Norman are new to me. I've not heard of these. I'll have to go back and
that's the beauty of Google Maps is you get to find out all of these little unincorporated towns that never got incorporated to begin with.
That is true. You know, Nebraska has an Atlanta, right? They have Apple Fest there.
I did not
What kind
know
of
this.
apples?
I don't know. Do you like these apples? That's probably what they asked.
Nice.
Where
I
is
actually
it?
don't know.
Where is Atlanta?
It's actually in the Sacramento area.
Of course it is.
That's very
course it is.
confusing.
And
That's
that's
very
why
confusing.
Atlanta used to be in the NFC West.
That's wow. Oh,
right
yeah.
next to Sacramento.
That's actually like a great. It's not like beer bar trivia quiz-ish, but it is fun when you go back and you realize, and the NBA still has this problem where there are just, in the MLB too, but there are just some teams that are in completely wrong conferences
It's
or
just the
divisions.
MLB.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Well, the NHL, I think, is Colorado like in the South or something like that? I have that right?
I don't remember anymore. I stopped following when they got rid of the Norris and the what was it? What were the names of it? Yeah, the Norris
Legends, leaders, all that good stuff.
Yeah, Legends leaders.
I mean, I brought this up off air to John and Josh last week. It confuses the hell out of me forever that the Dolphins are in the AFC West.
East.
Thank you.
That would have been more confusing.
That would have
Yes.
been more confusing.
Why is that? Oh,
Why
because they're
is
not
it
in the
confusing?
South?
Because every other team in that conference
Oh, that-
division
you know what? That is fair because the
is
Colts,
in New York.
the
They're
Colts-
just in New York.
Yeah, the Colts are in the AFC South, but they are notably that has really messed me up for some time. Now that I think about that.
Well, but now again, this goes back to the original alignment of the divisions when the Colts were in the AFC East with the Dolphins.
Mhm.
And they wanted to keep the rivalries as much intact as possible. Thus, the Colts got shipped out to the AFC South. The Dolphins stayed in the AFC East so they could still have their rivalries with the Pats and the Bills and the
Then the
Jets.
Dolphins are always at a constant disadvantage whenever they go play the other teams because it snows there and famously not in Miami.
Oh, interesting. So
But then
you're
the reverse
anti-travel in the NFL. You
I'm-
and Matt Rule would
I'm
love to talk.
anti-unfair advantage.
But
Interesting.
the reverse
You and Mick
is-
Cronin have something in common.
Maybe Tampa Bay should join the AFC.
They should secede.
Famously, when Tampa Bay joined the NFL, they originally were in the AFC.
That's
for
right.
1 year, and Seattle was in the NFC.
The whole
and then
setup
they
is just
flipped.
very confusing.
And then Seattle flipped back.
Yeah.
Uh,
I love my
Now,
NFC South. I'll
you
keep it.
realize, Nick, that the advantage then switches around when the Dolphins get to host games in December with that 90% humidity, and those northern teams are like suffocating. So I mean, it can equalize itself out.
It doesn't impact the Bills as much as I'd like it to.
And famously, for pretty much the entire decade of the 70s and a good chunk of the 80s, the Dolphins ran that division.
I wasn't alive for that, John.
I understand that, but it's just, historically, the Dolphins were very, very good ones.
Yeah, if the Dolphins consider just being a better franchise, that could help winning.
Oh, you know what? You might be onto something.
Maybe,
but yes, switch divisions. See if that helps.
I don't want them to switch divisions. I like the AFC. I just want more Southern teams there. Another team in the area would be
more
cool.
teams.
Maybe they can join the SEC.
Like, you know what? Expansion. Let's just add a few teams.
Well, that just means you're getting to Britain, and they're going to be in the AFC East too. Get ready to meet the London Patriots.
Oh, God.
I think the Panthers are just going to move over there.
You take that back.
Sorry,
not
the Jags.
Panthers.
The Jags. Yeah, the Panthers are kind of fine.
Yeah.
Kind of fine.
Joey's going to go see the Packers and Panthers.
I did see that, yeah. I'm debating on going just to annoy Joey. Do you think he would drive me up there if I asked?
Get a ticket next to him. Just sit down.
That'd be very fun.
Hang out with Joe.
And what's hilarious is that is a game the Panthers will win.
The one at Green Bay?
Yeah, they'll win that one, but then they will inevitably lose twice to the Saints, and one of those being a game that they desperately need to win the NFC South. Yeah, it'll be fantastic. I love the Panthers.
Well, Grum Down on a One Beer Friday. We got into this subject yesterday briefly, and so I did a little more digging into Nebraska's red zone blues. People forget how bad Nebraska was defending the red zone last year.
It was bad.
Mr. Calandria likes his new offense. This has been Calandria week. I think every day this week we've had a subject on Anthony Calandria.
Well, we haven't heard from any of them. We don't know anything about these guys.
We did hear from Mr. Calandria yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Did he forget another shirt or accidentally order another shirt?
Probably. I do know this. He does, and I'd forgotten about this the first time when he famously told us about the shirt. But he is a big, and this may be something we need to keep track of this year during his press conferences. He likes to say the word shoot.
Oh, interesting.
Shoot, man. Or like, shoot, we're going to be pretty good this year.
Is he Southern?
No, but that is a very kind of a Southern word. I mean, when people say shoot.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
It's like those kids you went to high school
Southern
with that were really into Duck Dynasty and they would talk with a Southern accent for some reason.
They're really into Duck Dynasty.
And you were very confused by it because we're in a northern state.
That's very funny. That's
Yeah.
very good.
It's a very small town thing.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree. There was a lot of people that dressed up for Duck Dynasty, not on Halloween. My hometown.
Try that in a small town.
Yeah, it was Uncle Si everywhere.
We're going to have an SEC intervention today.
Please.
LeBron finally picks a side.
Is this breaking news? Are we the first to talk about LeBron James?
Yes.
Wow.
I haven't
Hopefully
heard another
nothing
show talk
happens
about
with any NFL announcers today that we have to break. The Rams throw it back.
Is it dark blue and yellow? I haven't seen it.
Who are they throwing it back on?
Well, they'll be throwing it onto their players, but they'll be throwing it back.
They're moving back to St. Louis?
Whoa.
No.
Bring them back. Bring them back.
That was a mistake. I'm sorry.
Were you still at St. Louis? Were you a Rams fan when they moved to St. Louis?
Yes.
You just held on?
Missouri
yeah,
does need a
absolutely.
football team again.
That is true. People forget.
They will be losing theirs pretty soon.
Yeah.
Overland Park, Kansas.
Yep.
Chiefs.
Nebraska says the new volleyball reseat was good.
Others have other thoughts?
Kent's Movie Club today was a pick by Austin.
Sure was.
The Sheep Detective.
Austin picked this.
Why are you saying it like that?
Austin did this to
Why?
us.
What do you mean? Okay, hold your thoughts. I'm going to fight you
Okay.
when we get to
This
Kent's Movie Club.
could be an interesting conversation.
Yeah, no, I'm upset with you.
I love you.
I'm pre-mad at you.
We will have a
Don't
Super
pre at me.
Friends roundtable with Jack Mitchell in the final half hour of the Grum. And it is a One Beer Friday. And, do we have enough in here?
Do we have beer in there?
Yeah. Well, I had yeah, we do.
Okay.
Oh, thank
cool.
God.
There's still a couple of those
We can have Matt go get something.
cross-strained dark lagers that no one really liked very well.
Oh.
There
No
were,
offense, it just wasn't.
I need
was
to be
not-
in the mood for a dark lager, and I find myself never being in the mood for a dark
It
lager.
is dark
I
and gloomy
agree.
today, so maybe a dark lager would fit.
It probably would.
Yeah.
But we do have a few. We got the IPAs I brought last week, and there's still one more of the beer from Kansas City I brought 3 weeks ago.
How come you didn't bring beer, Austin?
I didn't. We don't ask the guests to bring beer.
I actually have before, and I don't know why. I think I forgot it was Friday.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fair.
That's on me, actually.
No, it is not on you.
Yeah,
we didn't ask.
I was just making a joke.
Oh, sorry. My
You're
bad.
doing us a favor.
You
well,
are.
You know.
We give you the beer.
I appreciate that. You guys pay me. You guys give me beer.
Wait, you get paid?
What? You're not?
I didn't know we paid our guest host. Prairie Flower Zone Casino hotline 402-951-1620. You can also tweet at us, Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed at USC 1620, and the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. Answer the phone on the first ring. EquitableOnline.com. John at 1620thezone.com. I'm withholding a sneeze right now.
Oh,
it's the
get through
worst.
it. Get through it. Get through it. Get through it. I always do the nose pinch. That's what I
Is
do.
one of the worst feelings in the world, the feeling of a pre-sneeze, but then the sneeze doesn't happen.
Yes.
Are we ranking worst feelings in the world?
I just
Well,
said
I mean,
one of.
I was going to say another one is when you're clearly away from home, you're on a walk or other activity, and you feel your stomach drop, and you
Oh,
go,
yeah.
"Oh no, how far am I?" Like you're calculating how many steps you have before.
We've discussed this before.
Sure have.
This has happened before.
John found a bush.
No,
nice.
it was a giant bale of hay, is what it
Oh
was.
wow, that's very Western of you.
Small town bush.
Yeah.
That's what we call them.
Yeah, it was a giant bale of hay.
Was this at Nick's wedding?
No.
Okay.
This was on a walk many years ago.
I was near a field in our wedding, though. The venue was right next to a field.
You thought about it.
I didn't need to. There's bathrooms there.
There were bathrooms there. That was very nice.
There were bathrooms.
Nick wanted to have a modern wedding. He wanted a wedding with bathrooms.
Wow. And the townsfolk raised their noses to that, and they said, "We're not going. We don't recognize your modern technology."
My family had a real hard time adapting, but they got there.
They made it up. They made up for it.
Bathrooms inside?
They made up for it. It's all good. It's all good. Enjoy this final nice day, even though it's really not nice
I'll take it. Comparative to Monday, I'll take it.
compared to tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
I have
Sunday.
to. I have to
and
mow
Monday and-
tomorrow.
Oh, I know.
I
It's-
have to mow tomorrow.
Only
You get to mow tomorrow.
only in Nebraska can we go from weather that is fit for Seattle to weather that's fit for
hell.
the Mississippi Delta in one day.
Dante's Inferno.
I bet hell is really humid.
Ooh, good question. Is it a dry heat in hell?
No, because a dry heat is pleasant. And I can't imagine hell would be pleasant in any
Yeah,
capacity.
how hot is hell?
Well, but
Because people live in Phoenix, so does it have to be hotter than Phoenix?
fire usually puts off a dry heat.
Yeah, but it's hell, John. It's a magical place. They can make it whatever they want it to be.
No.
I don't
Hell
think
is
the
a
laws.
magical place.
I don't think the laws of physics apply
I don't
in
know
hell.
if I've ever heard of hell described. Oh, hell. You make it sound like a Disney commercial. Oh, this could be a jingle or something with all the rabbits and the, cats dancing in the street. Hell is a magical place.
I mean, magic isn't inherently good or bad. It's just magic.
Do they also have the Pirates of the Caribbean ride in hell? Or is that
100%.
only? Okay, I didn't know if that was just in the
No, it's there.
wide world
See,
of Disney.
magic implies positive.
Does it?
You have to put like
Tell
dark
that to the
magic or
basketball
black
team.
magic
Oh, the good argument.
for. See, it's not
Dumb
like
debate.
it's not like the word gimmick,
It seems
Which-
so unnecessary,
which
though.
doesn't need those
Like,
qualifiers.
even if you use dark magic, it's still magic. It's weird that magic
No, I
has
understand.
an implication that it's good.
Yes, magic does have an implication. Have you ever been to Disney World?
No.
The Magic Kingdom?
Never
Yeah.
want to go there.
I
Well,
actually, I fully agree with you. I think magic connotates positivity.
so you're saying everything Walt Disney ever associated with is a positive?
When you,
Not
connotation.
everything,
when you hear
no.
the term voodoo, do you think what a great thing?
I think about chips. Some voodoo chips.
Nick the Contrarian.
I
How
like
dare
chips.
he? How dare
I
he?
think magic connotates a positive,
I agree.
Hmm.
I'm 100% with you.
unless you put a different adjective in front of it.
Yeah, when you think like wizard, it's a positive, right? You're just like,
Sure.
oh, magic, positive, right?
But then you hear dark wizard. I guess I'm not pushing
Dark
back on you
magician?
guys. I'm just thinking about this. Dark magician wasn't evil though.
yeah, but he sounds bad.
Yeah, but he's a good card.
Okay.
And Yugi used him. Are you
See,
saying
he's
Yugi
talking
would-
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
No, don't worry about it.
the
Don't worry
hell?
about it.
Good Lord.
I've been waiting 2
I
days for what the
so-
hell? That rocked. I hated that.
So regret even bringing this up
Pot
now.
of greed.
I'm gonna hit you with my sword of Zanzibar.
No.
Fly.
You should know, John. You get to draw 2 from your deck with the pot of greed. You knew that.
Mm,
Yu-Gi-Oh jumped
yes.
the shark a while ago. They have bean men. they're men with they're beans, but they're men.
Oh, like the guys from
goodness.
Spy Kids 2? Oh, those are thumb guys.
Those are
Never
thumb
mind.
thumbs.
I'm
Spy
going to
Kids
read
1.
this email from John. There
Cool.
were bathrooms at Nick's wedding, so he didn't get married in Iowa then. Correct. He did not get married in
That's
Iowa.
true. I did not get married in Iowa.
It's very funny.
Anyway, well, if this Grum hasn't already started off in just the weirdest way, we'll try to rein it in as much as we can. We have an update on the Saving College Sports from Itself Act.
Oh, good.
But Austin took me down a dark place.
Oh, no. What did I do?
Well,
Dark
when
magic?
you mentioned the red zone issues.
That's right.
And so we crunched some of the numbers. And we'll go through some of that. Calandria Speaks and more when we continue. Great to have you with us on this Friday. We'll try the rest of the Grum not to make you regret this decision. I don't know if we've done a good job in the first 50 minutes, but we'll do better. I promise. 1620 The Zone. It's only going to be positive news, Josh. Only positive.
The Positive Boys.
Oh, hi. We're back.
Mr.
Welcome.
Banks.
We actually might need to give Wood some doggy weed just to settle him down sometimes, because my God, this little guy is just.
Really? Is it the weather? Like, because it's not steaming hot outside?
No, it's just him. It's just, he's a 6-month-old,
Oh, that's right. I forgot that you
Vizsla
got it.
puppy. And
He's also giant.
Do you still call him a puppy at this point? I mean, all dogs are puppies, but you understand what I'm saying.
I mean, I guess technically he is.
When does he become a dog?
Good question.
I'd say when dogs are 3, they're not puppies
Ooh.
anymore.
I
Is
think
it
it's younger
that
than
long?
that. I feel like it's like 18
wanna-
months.
so
I feel
wanna
like
say,
18 months.
I want to say, 1 year to 18 months.
My baseline is 3 because I grew up with labs, right? My dad loved black labs. That's all we had.
Sure.
And with a black lab, by the time they turn 3, either they chill out or they are a puppy forever, essentially. So that's kind of why
fair.
3 was my
Mm,
baseline
okay.
for that.
All right.
I love black labs. Great dogs.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good question. With this one, it may be one of those perma puppy things where it's just like.
Some people aren't opposed to that.
I mean, great dog. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. He just sometimes is just wired.
Yeah.
Especially when he gets that wild look in his eye, and all of a sudden he looks at my arm like it's a hunk of cheese.
I always do
Where
like
it's
it
just
when
like I want to play and I'm going to bite your hand and rah, 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 rah.
I always like it when a dog does not take on the personality of its owners, because our dog is very much like my fiance.
Yeah.
But if the dog was more like me, it'd be bouncing around the walls doing that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I don't take it that that's how you are at home. So it's very funny to hear that your dog is doing this. Unless it listens to your Creighton broadcast, and that must be where it comes from.
Though now it's funny you say that, because Wrigley, the Labradoodle, does not like the sound of sports. She barks when my radio is on, when my radio calls are on in the house, because
She thinks that you're yelling at her.
Could be.
That's very funny.
Could be. It'll be interesting to see how Woods responds to all of this, but we'll see.
Wait to see.
Matthew says, take your dog out for exercise. I do. We do. He gets walked.
Some dogs are just perma energetic.
He gets walked. He gets thrown the ball in the backyard. He gets, let outside to run. He gets exercise.
How does Wrigley or Woods, I guess, feel about horses on the TV?
Oh.
I ask because Misty, our poodle, whenever we're watching TV, it's either when Jacob first turns into a werewolf in Twilight, every time she freaks out on the TV.
Okay.
Or if there's a horse on the TV, she freaks out. She hates horses. And I don't know. She's never seen a horse in real life. I don't know why she hates TV horse.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Ava doesn't watch TV, so.
Misty watches TV. It's weird to just look over and she's locked in.
Interesting.
Just locked in. Well, speaking of being locked in, Washington, D.C. is locked in on the Saving College Sports from Itself Act.
That's right.
But according to sources, there will be no vote before August. The story from Pete Thamel, Dan Murphy of ESPN.com, not expected to be put to a full vote of the Senate before Congress takes its August recess. The Protect College Sports Act, or as I like to call it, the Saving College Sports from Itself Act, was voted out of the Commerce Committee in June. They were hoping to get it through the full Senate by the end of the summer. Now, without a Senate vote in early August, the bill faces a very small window of opportunity to get through Congress prior to the November elections, which is interesting because, they're back in late August, early September, October. I mean, that's 2 months. Oh, but it's a small window, they say. So I guess we're still in a holding pattern.
Isn't it funny how quiet all of this conversation gets until 36 hours before the bill gets up for a vote?
Sure. I mean, our representatives not just in Washington, but also in Lincoln, at the legislature, county boards, whatever. We're very good at taking things up to the last minute.
Yeah. and then voicing very strong opposed opinions. And I know
Yes.
the Big Ten SEC, Sankey has done a lot of legwork to get his opinions out there very early.
Absolutely.
Which I don't recall Petiti going out of his way to say too much about this. I feel like I've heard
because Petiti goes out of his way to not say anything at all.
Right. That's a good point.
He's very good at that, which will make it next week kind of interesting. In fact, that may be a subject we can take up when Jack Mitchell joins us. But, this week, the theme of the SEC Media Weeks has been Media Days. Has been
complaining and moaning.
Well, yes, complaining and moaning, talking about the 9-game conference schedule and how tough everything's going to be. What the main theme will be next week at Big Ten. Will it be the playoff, expanding the playoff because they're the ones beating the drum loudest on that? Will it be this bill? Or will it be just a victory lap where it's like we're the best at everything and, bow and kiss our ring? I don't know. I'll be very curious to see what the theme is. And certainly whatever Petiti does will kind of set the tone, but then it'll be up to the coaches, just like it was this week in the SEC. Set the tone Petiti. But this, it'll be up to the coaches then to take the ball and run with it and go wherever the hell they go. Or maybe it'll all be just 1 week long of, countering the SEC's argument about 9 conference games.
Well, not to get too woke, John, but there will inevitably be some California reporter that will fly in and take the very first question that then precedes the entire topic for the whole week.
That is true.
Because they will ask that question to every coach that is available as well as the conference commissioner.
That is true. That could.
It usually happens, right? Like we get the touchdown to tangents guy who will show up and ask some question, and then somebody from whatever.com will show up and, just arrive and want to learn about, Dan Lanning, I hear that you have drums in your band. Can you tell us how that influences the inspiration for your Ducks and that sort of thing?
That'll probably happen. So either way, the good news is we won't have to talk about it really now for the next couple of months because they're not going to vote on it. We'll go through August. And then by the time, they're back in session, the season will be here and we'll be just like, we don't care.
Yep, I agree.
So that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
So yesterday we were going through, and I'm trying to remember which topic it was. Was it the topic about absolutes?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Where we tried to come up with an absolute that we would state for the season. And one of the things I said was, I think absolutely this team, Nebraska football, will be better at big plays. They'll make more big plays. One of the ones you had to do with the red zone.
And I said the red zone defense statistically just has to be better because of the additions, improvements, and everything else that they made because it was so putrid from a year ago.
And so I wanted to go down a rabbit hole, and I did. And
I was going to say, you really dove into this.
I forgot how awful Nebraska was in the red zone. I guess it was just something, maybe we just kind of ignored. We were more caught up in just how the season was unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
But Nebraska last year was second to last in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
136 FBS schools. Nebraska was 135th in opponents' red zone scoring percentage. They allowed 37 red zone scores in 38 red zone attempts. Only Rice, which went an imperfect 42 for 42, was worse than Nebraska at stopping teams in the red zone. And the other part of it that even makes it worse, because could you get by if you allowed a lot of field goals? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But Nebraska was dead last in the country in red zone touchdown percentage, 30 out of 38.
Wow.
Or out of the 37 scores in the red zone, 30 of those 37 were touchdowns.
Which is so interesting because I remember when the season ended last year, and the first thought when John Butler was fired was, I remember even thinking, I was like, that's kind of interesting because you usually just don't see the 1-year rental of a coordinator like that. But then the further and further the offseason has gone, the more statistics that have come out. I wonder, especially with how analytical college football has become now, how much data like this that we're realizing now that Rule had to make that decision so quickly at the time. That these were things that they were talking about of, yeah, I guess, defensively we're probably fine, but as soon as someone gets inside the 20, they're scoring points. And not just points, but they're putting 7 on us every single time. That had to have been a reason why that trigger was pulled so quickly.
Absolutely. And then you go back and just look at the last 3 games. Because even though Nebraska gave up a high percentage, consider that in their first 4 games, the opponents only had 4 trips to the red zone. And they got their 1 non-red zone score. Akron failed to score in the red zone in their 1 attempt. That's the one time Nebraska stopped a team in the red zone. But in the first 4 games, Nebraska only allowed 4 red zone trips. Unfortunately, in the Michigan game, big play touchdown, big play touchdown, big play touchdown.
Right.
But then after that, they didn't stop anyone in the red zone. And then when you got to November, particularly the last 3 games, the games that have caused so much consternation in this offseason.
Good word.
Penn State, 6 out of 6, 5 touchdowns. Iowa, 4 out of 4, 4 touchdowns, all rushing. Utah, 7 out of 7, 6 touchdowns. So in the last 3 games, Nebraska allowed 17 for 17 scoring in the red zone. And when you figure, and I guess I could have counted the actual number of possessions, but a typical number of possessions in a game usually is somewhere in the neighborhood. On the low side, it's 10. On the high side, it might be 13 or 14. Usually it's about 11 or 12 possessions per game or drives. So if you just went with the average of 11, that's 17 red zone possessions out of about 33 total possessions in a game. That's a lot of time spent in your scoring area.
That is a lot. Yeah.
And I suppose I literally could go back and count them because I've got all.
Yeah, I was seeing if maybe I could just get them quick, but it looks like they're going to be a little bit harder to find. But I agree. Regardless of if you do the possessions too, and you add in that the Iowa scores, some of them, I think the rushing touchdown part of it is obviously notable. But there's also the element of that game was getting away from Nebraska because they had made their special teams mistakes, all that sort of stuff as well. What's curious is when you break this down fully, the Utah game, in statistical analysis, you always say, okay, if we're going to put all these out there, which ones do we take out? You would almost take out the Houston Christian Akron games because 1, the quality of the teams, and 2, because their data doesn't match any of the other data that we kind of see, right? Because there's basically no evidence of red zone deficiencies there. But the Utah game shows how deficient they really were, but also didn't have a defensive coordinator. It was the bowl game. Guys are not a part of the team, all that sort of stuff, whatever the case is. It clearly shows, though, and I'm glad that you included the Utah game with it being in the postseason, the last game of the year, because I think it confirmed how poor the defense was. They didn't get better in the bowl game. They didn't bow up and all of a sudden stand up and make these stops. They didn't have any of that, whether it was willful pride to be able to get out there and say, hey, we're not letting Utah stop us. That was the case, is that what was happening throughout the season did not get changed in any changes that they made in the immediate right as soon as the season ended.
I just counted them up. Penn State had 9 total drives in that game,
and they scored 6.
And they went into the red zone 6 times, scored 6. Iowa had 10 possessions, and Utah had 11. So that's 30 total possessions for the opposition, and 17 of those 30 possessions ended up in the red zone, and all 17 ended up in scores, with 15 out of the 17 resulting in touchdowns. So when you brought up red zone yesterday, I mean, they almost have to be better because you literally can't get any worse.
So now seeing that, I don't want you to say like to, steal someone else's anything, but now you see that has to be an absolute, right? Like if you bring in a new defensive coordinator, if you brought in new defensive players, all that sort of stuff, you have to see a jump. It has to get better.
And it's not like, I mean, usually you get inside the red zone, teams are going to score. For example, the leader in the country last year in red zone defense was Ohio State. They only allowed 66.67, so 2 out of every 3 touchdowns, or excuse me, scores in the red zone. But it was their touchdown percentage. Their touchdown percentage was only 37%. So again, you can allow, and you'll allow north of 65, 70, 75% scoring in the red zone just because of the proximity. But the key is you make them kick field goals and not touchdowns. And that's where Nebraska really failed last year. It wasn't so much that they only stopped one red zone possession from points, period. It was that they gave up 30 touchdowns out of 37 conversions in the red zone.
And John, so the stats that you have it written out, which is fantastic, not on screen, just the one that you had sent me on the doc. Those are the plays in the red zone, is what I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, these are all so that's not up on the screen,
right?
But yeah, these are the actual red zone drives, we'll call them.
This is something that this has been a topic that I've kind of had just like circulating around me for the past 2 days. And something I'm going to look at over the weekend, too, is what the length of drive was comparative to what Nebraska then allowed for a score. Because I find that so interesting because even in the Penn State and Iowa games, you see some of the amount of plays it takes once they enter into the red zone inside of the 20. We don't have the starting field position on these, but Penn State scored on 2 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays, 4 plays, 1 play. Iowa had 5, 3, 4, and then 1. And
these are, by the way, just the red zone plays.
Yes, just the red zone plays. Then Utah, 2, 5, 3, 3, 2, 4, and 3. And granted, take this into account too. Remember that they're getting into the red zone, so it doesn't mean they're getting first and goal. It's not from the 10. It's usually from the 20 or somewhere inside. If you're getting 5 plays inside of the 20, you are likely getting a first down, getting to first and goal territory. There are multiple chances that Nebraska is not getting you into a 3rd and long or a 3rd and whatever before you enter into goal to go territory. And that's the other interesting part too. A lot of these touchdowns and field goals, well, of course, mostly the touchdowns are single digit scores. They're giving up more plays to get closer to the goal line. Yeah. So yeah, maybe they weren't getting blown up for these gigantic plays outside of Michigan and a couple of big runs against Northwestern, and then Penn State had a couple of big plays too. But there were all these just like slow maneuvering, chipping drives that just depleted your will. And I always thought at the end of the season, one statistic that stood out the most to me was how many more plays Nebraska's defense played comparative to a lot of the teams that they faced throughout the season. That defense maybe wasn't on the field as much as they had been in years prior that we had seen, especially when the offense, wasn't as good in the 23 season under Rule. But my goodness, I mean, you just leave yourself out there for so long. No wonder by the end of the game, you're giving up touchdowns in the 3rd and 4th quarters because once they get down the field, you're going to be exhausted. There's no chance that you feel like, okay, well, we haven't stopped him yet. How are we going to stop him now?
Yeah. So there you go. A little bit more of a deep dive into the numbers, not to depress you, but just to kind of open your eyes to, hey, this is where Nebraska really needs to be better. And they've got to be better defending in the red zone because last year you really couldn't get any worse.
And again, I think it's a reason for optimism. I think it's a reason that you can look that the sun is not shining today, but will tomorrow, right? That you can say, well, if that's as bad as it was, it can only get better.
When we continue, Anthony Calandria speaks, and I did some more dumpster diving, dumpster diving. We'll get to some of that. Also, LeBron finally picks a side, and Kent's Movie Club is coming up. Hey, look, your Rockies are doing my boys a favor.
Go Rockies.
Go Rockies. On Old Men Day at Milwaukee County Stadium. 1620 The Zone. Welcome back. Don't forget, you can register to win in our Road to Wrigley sweepstakes. We are sending 2 people, you, a guest, to see Nebraska volleyball play at Wrigley Field in September against Missouri. You can register right now at 1620thezone.com. You will get 2 tickets to the match, round trip airfare for 2, 2-night hotel stay in downtown Chicago, and $150 in spending cash. It's all brought to you by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people. Member FDIC. Go get registered now.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Howdy, County here.
So Anthony Calandria must have heard his or felt his ears burning because he's been talked about all week here on the Grum. He finally spoke back, sort of. Did a short interview on the Husker Radio Network yesterday. One of the quotes, when I first got here, it was tough because learning a whole new system. But at the end of the day, we look good right now. And shoot. Everyone's comfortable. So we're super excited. I love it.
That's good to be comfortable. Also good to be comfortable.
Yeah. But learning a new system. He also said that Nebraska has added plays from the Mountain West UNLV playbook last year. Interesting. What those plays are, I do not know. But I wanted
Anthony Scramble.
Yeah, Anthony Scrabland.
Why are you talking to him like he's a Pokemon?
Anthony, run.
Cole Scramblia.
Anthony, use touchdown throw.
So we've been quoting these numbers the last couple of days, but the percent of offense that Calandria was responsible for at each of his previous 3 seasons. 49% of the offense at UVA, 55% in 2024, and then last year at UNLV, 66% of the total offense. So, we've also been kind of looking back at where some of Nebraska's quarterbacks have been. So I went back to 2011, and here are the percentages. For those of you watching in on the YouTube channel, go like and subscribe. Just search 1620 The Zone on YouTube.
Bang.
There's the graphic. But
Tanner Lee, what a number.
Yes. Tanner Lee has the highest percentage of offense, and this is going back to 2011. Almost 66%. So really, it's right on par with what Calandria did at UNLV last year. He was responsible for 65.7%. Lee was responsible in 2017 for 65.9% of the offense.
They couldn't run the ball that year. So I imagine a lot of that was probably the passing.
Absolutely.
Everybody else is a little more balanced, and even you can tell,
you weren't getting any yards on the ground from Lee. So absolutely, it was a lot more responsible, for that.
But that's why the 21 number with Martinez makes the most sense. Obviously, the Armstrong numbers make a little bit more sense there too. You should have your quarterback be at least like hovering at 50%.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thought. Like, generally speaking, your quarterback should be around there.
I would guess. I mean, I didn't do the math, but just looking at these numbers right here, I would guess that the average Nebraska quarterback since 2011 is probably in that 55% zone. Because there's a couple of years, for example, 2 years ago with Heinrich Harburg, that was an offense that just struggled mightily. Only 39. Well, actually less than 39% of the offense to Harburg. Then there were a couple of years. Now, obviously, there were some years where you had quarterbacks injured, like 2013. Tommy Armstrong was the leader among the quarterbacks at 21.7%, but you also had a little bit of team magic, and you had a little bit of Ron Kellogg in there. That's why Amir Abdullah actually led the Huskers in percentage of offense that year at 31.5%. Because you played 3 different quarterbacks. But if you averaged out all the quarterbacks, I would guess it's probably right around that 55% range.
Yeah. So what if I asked you this, just because I'm not going to, where's wood? We'll just knock here. We'll knock.
It's made of wood.
Yeah, we'll knock on the wood here.
Wouldn't make fake.
You obviously do not want your starting quarterback that you anticipate going into the season to get injured at any point. But if the cumulative, there we go. We got the word. Cumulative of the Nebraska quarterbacks, because I think that they feel pretty confident in those quarterbacks. For the first time in a long time, I think you have 3 quarterbacks that if you go down the list and you'd say, in worst case, break glass in case of emergency, Danny Kalen's your third guy. That's a pretty good consideration to be in.
He's got a guy with experience. That's why I said earlier this week, Josh and I did a position group by position group analysis of, do we think the position group is stronger or weaker than how it ended last year? I have the quarterback room as a slight improvement.
Oh, yeah. I'd agree.
Because of the depth.
Mm-hmm. I'd even say maybe a little bit more than just slight. But the reason I bring that up is if you were in that emergency situation, if you get to a 2013 where you have 3 quarterbacks that play, if those percentages, I believe, add up to a Tanner Lee at 65%, I think you still feel successful offensively with what you did through the season if your quarterbacks can contribute in the whole of that situation.
Exactly. So we'll see where it ends up, but I would not be surprised. By the way, since 2011, only 3 quarterbacks have eclipsed 60% of the offense. Martinez in 2011 was within, a couple 10,000ths of a percentage point of doing it twice. He was at 59.999% in 2011. So I guess if you want to round it up, we'll say 4 quarterbacks since 2011 accounted for 60% or greater of Nebraska's offense. Martinez in 11, Martinez in 12, Lee in 17, Adrian Martinez in 2021. And it's, you look at this, and I know there's not a lot of great years in this group. There's not really a correlation between the higher or lower the percentage and
the better the season.
The better the season.
Yeah. So what's interesting, I just Googled this quick, and of all places, the Heisman Trophy actually has this stat. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
On average, quarterbacks for the Heisman Trophy, again, this is average of, I'm assuming, all Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks, they average 61%.
Really?
Of
they
their
had that on
of their total offensive
God bless you,
output.
Al.
Yeah. Shout out Heisman.com. So
61% of the offense.
Now remember, though, too, that
year.
most Heisman Trophy winners have running mates that help them out. Usually their teams are pretty good, that sort of sense, too. But 61% seems, again, if you're relatively using the numbers that you have in front of us, you had mentioned if you just kind of eyeball average that, 55 to 58% is probably the average since 2011 to where we are today for Nebraska quarterbacks. 61% probably means your quarterback played better than expected on a good offense that produced a lot of good numbers.
Well, now you got me searching a little bit more here. Let's see.
I think if I remember right,
Nebraska's Heisman winner, Eric Crouch.
If I remember right, I think Jaden Daniels was the latest who had one of the higher, because I think he had like I think it was like 68 or 60 or closer to 70% of the offense for LSU that year that they won.
In Eric's Heisman Trophy season, he only accounted for 48.5% of the offense. But
wow.
You had a 1,200 yard, you had a 1,300 yard rusher in Diedrich. And Crouch didn't have to play in every play of every game because there were a few blowouts, especially earlier in the season. But yeah, 48% was his total. Now, a lot of that, too, was he was not a passing quarterback. He almost rushed for as many yards as he threw for. So
and also notably,
that's going to be a little different.
Weaker Heisman Trophy class as well. And, you know, we don't discredit that, but that is what generally a lot of the vote distribution does show because it was a little bit more dispersed that season.
Yeah. All right, when we continue, LeBron James makes a surprising decision. And Kent's Movie Club is coming up. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. You know, Nick, I just realized something. We got stuffs to give away today.
We do have stuffs to give away today, John.
Good stuffs to give away today.
Great stuffs.
Bang.
Very popular stuffs.
What's the stuffs?
The stuffs that we're giving away today
Are from Red Door Wood-Fired Grill.
Nice.
They were going fast this morning, too. It's the zone deal this week.
It is the zone deal this week. Are there still some available, or are they already gone? They could be gone, but check it out, 1620thezone.com. It may still be there. You can get $50 worth of gift cards for only $25 to Red Door Wood-Fired Grill, their legendary wood-fired wings, to the best Kansas City strip you'll ever eat. And we have 5, 4, 5. How many of these to give away today?
We have 5 to give away today.
5 to give away today. We'll be listening after Kent's Movie Club. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll drop something in during Kent's Movie Club as something to listen for.
Whoa.
For the remainder of the Grum. And you can win $50 to Red Door Wood-Fired Grill.
Very nice.
I like that.
All right, that's what we're going to do. LeBron James. That was a heck of a play by the Miami Heat to do the whole, we didn't mean to put the whole YouTube thing out there, the alert that we were going to have this press conference and have the website ready to go.
Get a guy fired.
And then got a guy fired, and then they pulled it down, only to pick another team.
Yeah, that's tough. And in your conference, you can't have that. You can't have that. You really can't.
The Sixers get LeBron on a 2-year, $8 million deal.
Ooh. That's a good number. There was that
That's
report
a great
early.
number.
There was a report early, and I think it was by Shams, that had said that he was very much considering just taking the vet minimum.
Right.
But I think that there is something to say about, okay, well, we can't give him the vet minimum. We've got to give him something. But $8 million, I mean, that's a steal. And it gives you still some option to wiggle if you'd like.
The fair market contract for him, according to Sporting News, would have been around $21 million for what his value would be given the current market in the NBA. And he's going to be playing at $4 million a season.
For mid-40s. Power forward. What a guy. That rocks.
But, you know, he's got, so presumably he's going to end his career in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably. The thing about LeBron is, I suppose if most people like attached a team to him, like when he goes into the Hall of Fame, you know, that's the big argument in baseball. What cap is he going to wear? Is he going to wear the Rangers cap? Is he going to wear the Yankees cap or whatever?
Good point.
What's LeBron going to go in as? Probably a Cavalier, right?
I think everyone would say Cavalier. He'll just go in as a boy from Akron, right? That's what he'll go for.
I mean, that could be it.
I would argue that his most notable for me is actually the Heat. I remember LeBron's Heat years more than pretty much anything else.
Well, that's when he made his biggest splash, right? Because that was, you know, the braggadocious, not 1, not 2, not 3.
Right. His most memorable plays were in Cleveland, but I think his best reign of terror was probably Miami.
Sure, because that's when you really got him at his peak. But so he's been kind of a vagabond where he's moved around a lot. Obviously, when you play in a big market like Los Angeles. But it's interesting when you think about now where LeBron's going to be at the end of his career in Philadelphia. Does this compare to some other weird end of career stops? You know, like, for example, Jerry Rice played his whole career in San Francisco and then ended with the Raiders.
And then Seattle.
And then Seattle.
And then Denver.
And then Denver. People forget.
He got cut, right? He didn't, or did he retire before he could get cut?
I think he retired.
Right.
I think he retired. So you asked a question, this was offline, about other players who have done this. Obviously, there's Joe Montana with the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one. That wasn't in the examples that I gave, yeah.
Michael Jordan with the Wizards is probably the most famous example. So I tried to rack my brain, and naturally, as the old guy, I thought of a lot of older ones.
See, that's why I wanted to ask you, because I figured you'd have some that would blow my mind.
Babe Ruth with the Boston Braves.
Whoa, I didn't even know about that.
Babe Ruth played his final year with the Boston Braves. Johnny Unitas with the Chargers.
Oh, whoa.
Johnny Unitas played his last year in San Diego.
Interesting. Okay.
Franco Harris played in Seattle.
That
His
one I
last
did not
year.
know. I did not know that one. That's crazy.
That was one I pulled from deep in the recesses. And then some probably more contemporary ones. Frank Thomas, lifelong White Sox.
Okay.
Not only played out the last 2 years of his career in Toronto, but also in Oakland. And he did it twice. He went back and forth twice. So I think it was Oakland, then Toronto, then back to Oakland, then back to Toronto, or maybe these the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Brett Favre with the Jets.
Oh, that's right. Brett Favre. Well, Jets, Vikings, and then...
Was it Jets? I thought it was Vikings first, then Jets.
No, he went Jets for a year and then Vikings. So he ended with the Vikings. He retired of Vikings.
Okay.
I mean, he was also in the Raiders at the very end.
Favre?
Yeah, when he was raiding the pockets of all those people.
Oh, good one, Nick.
Jeez.
Good one,
Wow.
Nick.
Favre sucks.
That was a good one. There's been a run of Titans that like Andre Johnson was a Titan.
Yeah.
Randy Moss was a Titan for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Julio Jones was a Titan for a minute. Like there was that.
There's a few of those.
Yeah. Receivers go to die in Tennessee, apparently. Trying to think. I feel like there's a lot of NBA ones that I would go, oh, that's odd. But the NBA, guys move around so often.
They do. I mean, baseball and football, or baseball and basketball would tend to lend to this a little bit more, but obviously I had a lot of, football ones here that I thought of.
Little Dave in chat on YouTube, Joe Namath and the Rams.
Joe Namath and the Rams.
That's
of
a good
course.
one. That's a good pick.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Emmitt Smith of the Cardinals is one that always sticks with me.
Emmitt Smith was a Cardinal, wasn't he?
And I do appreciate, because now he'll go back, and obviously he does all the Cowboys parades and everything, but it's very funny. If anyone brings up his Arizona days, he just goes, I was just there for paychecks. I wasn't trying to do anything else, because he already had the rushing title at the time. He didn't have anything else to play for.
Yeah.
And Arizona just needed to sell seats. And they said, why not get Emmitt Smith?
Yeah. Ken Stabler with the Saints was an odd one to me.
I sent you one, and it's not as notable as some of the guys that we've said, but I do remember Amon Green on the Texans, because
I don't remember that one.
he robbed them blind, because he was one of those big free agent running back pickups in the mid 2000s. And he had a great run with the Packers and then was never heard from again after he went to the Texans. I think he was only there for a year too. I don't think he was there very long.
I don't even remember him being with the Texans. Gosh, so we'll see. But LeBron's obviously, he's not willing to play out the string. They think they can make something happen here.
Yeah.
And tough for Cleveland. A lot of folks in Cleveland thought he was going to come home for a third time. But and at this discount of a price, it's got to be a message, doesn't it, to the Cavaliers that I don't think your roster is quite good enough.
Yeah.
Because LeBron, even though it doesn't feel like LeBron is obsessed with winning another title, I feel like he doesn't want to go out. I mean, like Jordan with the Wizards. They were never going to do anything. He doesn't want to go out of patsy. He wants to at least feel like he's on a competitive team.
I'll give him this. I'm glad he didn't sign with Golden State. We didn't need the Golden State Warriors to go out there.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, I will give him credit for not just saying, let's run it back one more time and say, these are the old guys. We're just going to try to win one, because Golden State's already done that, and they're too old. They're over the hill. It's just not going to happen. Even if they would have gotten Anthony Davis, it still would have been a mess. But him going to Philly, as long as Joel Embiid's knee doesn't turn to Swiss cheese, they will be a contender in the East, in a conference and division that has its current NBA champion there. And also the Pacers that have Tyrese Halliburton that will likely come back. The Celtics who will be motivated to get back, but they have plenty. I mean, if you're looking in terms of right now, I'm sure the odds probably already have it. I would guess that Philly is probably the leader for the NBA title going into next season. I take that back.
Knicks.
I take it back. I think it'll be Thunder, Philly.
You think Philly will be ahead of them?
I think so. The Knicks have already lost some of their pieces from their championship team.
Yeah, but sometimes we'll see. I don't know. Have they probably posted odds, haven't they?
They probably updated it now, but also with no schedules out. I wonder if they would. I wonder if they don't have them out yet because they don't have schedules. But now, thank you, Adam Silver. Now we can finally post the schedules.
Thanks,
LeBron. Appreciate your help.
It's about damn time. Let's see. I'm going to just do a quick check before we go to break. Do we have any futures on the NBA? Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Thunder and Spurs plus 275. Knicks plus 900.
Wow.
Sixers plus 950. Celtics plus 1,400. Nuggets plus 2,200.
Wow. I'm surprised the Spurs are that high with the Thunder. But I guess a lot of people like the Western Conference, and
they were in the finals last year.
Yeah, of the two teams that haven't moved their rosters enough, it probably would be those two.
Yeah. All right, coming up next, Kent Walgamott's going to join us. We're going to talk about the Sheep Detectives.
Listen, I'm excited. I'm excited to know.
Nick was not excited.
Even though Nick wants to rain on my parade, how dare he?
We'll see.
Next on 1620 The Zone.
Friday, the final day of the week. These are the voyages of the program Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Its ongoing mission to explore strange new movies, to seek out new bits and new edifications, to boldly go where no radio program has gone before. Oh, Elkent's Movie Club. It's Elkent's Movie Club. Elkent's Movie Club. It's Elkent's Movie Club.
I was a little worried. That we were going to have audio issues because Kent was just sitting there. He wasn't reacting. And then I realized we didn't have him up in the stream
Oh no.
initially.
Also,
I'm here.
Kent, is it okay for me to share what you've sent me?
Yes, that's why I sent it.
Oh, what
Give me
in the
1
world?
second,
no.
and I will make sure it gets up.
Damn streak. Here we go.
You don't know what this is, John.
Yeah, but I can take a wild guess.
John, this could be anything.
I'm sure it could be.
So have you seen that McLaren has done the Macarena wing now too?
No, I haven't.
That's incredible.
What-
That means
what is-
Ferrari has had 2 innovations this season that every other car is deciding to go with. That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And our favored, I would submit to be on the pole tomorrow, which means that Lewis Hamilton will probably win. How many times would this be? His 8th?
I think so. Yeah. What was that stat you shared with me earlier, Ken? Every time LeBron James changes a team, Lewis Hamilton wins the championship.
Whoa.
Drivers' championship.
Uh-huh.
Every time that LeBron's gone to a different team, Lewis Hamilton's won the Formula One Drivers' Championship.
Isn't he like a bazillion points behind, though?
No, he's in second.
He is?
Yeah.
So
How's he in second?
Because Lewis Hamilton is back. The new regulations favor his driving
he was
style.
preparing
you
for
mean
this
the-
moment.
You mean the regulations that basically drive the cars for them?
No.
No.
Where you can just push a button and instantly you magically go faster.
Not this year.
Not this year? All right. Well, I guess we'll have to watch for that. They're racing 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah, then they're going on summer break.
They're going to get so tired.
It's not like they never do this, John.
I'm just saying. 2 weeks in a row.
You're a goofball.
I know. Well, that's because I'm in a goofy mood after the movie we watched this week.
Yes.
Mhm.
You guys are trying to bury the lead.
I saw
Talk
it last
driving.
night. It's Sheep Detectives. This was the pick of our guest co-host, Austin Jacobson. This is streaming on Amazon
Yep.
Prime.
Yes.
Here's the picture that Kent sent, by the way.
That rocks.
Is that your cat watching the film?
Yep, my cat watched the movie.
How much of the movie did the cat stay in that
Oh,
position?
he was there for probably about 5 minutes, and then he got up and laid down on me and watched, looking out. But he probably watched an hour before he fell asleep, maybe 40 minutes. But he was completely perplexed by the talking sheep.
See, it's a movie for more than just your family. Even the pet extensions.
The cat
love
said,
the sheep detectives.
This is unrealistic. Sheep don't talk.
Good point.
That is funny. So, Austin, as we traditionally do, give a quick synopsis of Sheep Detectives.
The Sheep Detectives that came out earlier this year in 2026 stars Hugh Jackman as he is a shepherd who is taking care of his flock, and some mystery arises as he is murdered. But who is there to be able to solve it? But none other than his flock of sheep. And they have to go through the local police and other goofy characters to find the real murderer before time runs out.
Naturally, with talking sheep, this is it's CGI.
It's live action.
Yes,
live
yeah.
action, but there's the sheep are obviously CGI'd so that they look like they can talk.
Yeah.
Kent?
Yeah.
When you found out this was the movie, you said this is the kind of movie you got to shut your mind off for.
Which I loved. I loved hearing that.
Well, you do. You can't take. I mean, it's got talking sheep. I mean,
Great point.
so, but once you do that, I think this is a really good movie, and I think it is really unusual kids movie because it gives the kids credit for being smart, you know, for being able to understand stuff. It doesn't talk down to them. It's not all cliched. It's a really good mystery, I think. It's got some humor, but it's also deals with like these issues of like even racism and stuff. Real subtle, but it does. And it gives the kids credit for saying, you can get this. And other movies I think of like that Babe. Remember that Babe movie about
the city?
Yeah, both of them, right? They give the kids credit. And that's what makes it work. And I thought this movie was really good. I watched it the first time with my niece. I had a niece here for like 6 days. And so we're going to watch a lot of movies at some point. And this thing had just come on. And I just sat there and went, how good is this? I just thought it was really good, really pretty funny and a nice story and a good mystery. And I'm glad we're not spoiling it because it's a good enough mystery to not spoil.
Right. And Ken, I'll agree with you too, but I'm surprised just hearing you talk about it right off the rip that I never went into this thinking like this was built for kids or anything. Like, obviously it's a sheep detective with talking animals. Like you would think like, okay, it's going to push towards that way, but it doesn't do anything grotesque or gratuitous in it. Like there's a murder, but it's really, really, really mundane. Like you even when the murder happens, it's approached in such a way that you don't even necessarily see that he's dead. Like, I mean, it kind of happens in its flashback sequences and such that you're able to kind of hear the story about. But I agree with you. And the way that you analyzed it there too, it never puts you in a position as like someone watching the movie that you feel like you don't either know what's happening or that you are inept enough to not understand how you could solve it yourself. And I think that that's like a smart move by it, that the clues are there for you. And like any good mystery, if you can solve it along with the characters in the movie, I think that it does a really good job of that.
The thing that's so unique about it is, I mean, it's PG. It's very family friendly, yet, I mean, it is dealing with a murder, but like you said, there's nothing gratuitous, and it's a good little mystery, but at the same time, it tells a lot of other little stories in there. It's about interpersonal relationships. You mentioned just a slight bit, of maybe racism is addressed to a degree. Again, not overt, not in your face, but it added an element that kind of tugged on your heartstrings a little bit.
Absolutely. So
there's this little they call them the winter sheep,
the winter lamb,
sorry, and
not to be confused with the Winter Soldier. Completely different.
Very different. Yeah.
But it like tugged on your heartstrings and you rooted for the little guy, right? And then of course all the other sheep are acting as sheep typically do. But I don't know, there was just a way about it that it didn't insult your intelligence, while at the same time it was enough for children to be able to pick up. I would love to know how children would respond to this, right? Because it's so different than movies that I grew up with, for example, that were meant for children.
My niece, who was 9, loved it.
What I appreciate about this movie is the way it handled like death. Because a lot of kids' movies, either they kind of skirt around it because they don't want to traumatize the kids, or they do like a Watership Down situation and they completely traumatize a kid. So this movie, I think, found a very good balancing point of explaining death, but in a way where it's real, but not like scary. Like it's scary, but it's sad, but it's an important thing to kind of go through, you know? I appreciated that the sheep had their own culture and lore. That was fun. It's like, oh, when you die, you turn into a cloud.
Right. Like, cloud. That was
fun. And actually, like in a world building kind of way, weirdly enough. I agree. It was a solid mystery overall. It elicited a very angry emotion from me at the beginning.
You're anti-sheep.
When something traumatizing or bad would happen, they're like, let's just forget. And I think it's because it hit too close to home for me, just in the world we're in right now. It's hard for me to disconnect from that sometimes. And last night, I guess I was just in one of those hard to disconnect kind of moods. So when I would just get pissed off every time the sheep would be like, "Oh, let's just forget about it. It never happened." And I'm like, "Well, but it's important."
Yeah, but there's the one guy that can't forget. Remember,
Also in hell in its own kind of way,
Right.
which isn't. It's just the characters are really interesting, even all the sheep.
Which Ken, I'm curious your thoughts on that too, because so many times in movies, and especially in kid movies, you'll get these one note or one beat side characters, but they do such an interesting job at the very beginning of the movie that Hugh Jackman's telling and writing a letter about his sheep, and he's describing each of their unique characteristics, but those side characters don't change at all. They just remain the same. Even at the conclusion of the movie, they all remain the same. But I actually thought it worked really well because you might not recognize the sheep by name or by anything, but their characteristics, you go, oh, I know exactly what this character is supposed to be doing or what the sheep is doing. And of course, adding that one is, like a super famous voice actor and all these famous actors and their big names and everything. I really just enjoyed that slight little aspect of it because you could kind of tell where all the notes were. And I think my favorite running bit in it is every time that Lily, the main sheep, comes back, and she has like a new idea of who the murderer was. That one sheep just accuses that person that she mentions first, and she's like, "We got to kill him. He did it."
Yeah. I think part of the reason that, I know part of the reason that they don't do a lot of quote character development of those is because this is a kids movie, right? You don't put extensive character development in kids movies because they frankly can't follow it, right? So you want this character that they're really identified with. But I think you hit on something there. Part of the reason the characters connect so well is the great actors that did the voices. I mean, Julia Louis-Dreyfus was perfect, I thought, as the Lily. Yeah. And then you have Patrick Stewart as the old sheep, whatever you call it.
What's really funny, sorry, Kent, to cut you off, is before I looked up the cast of this movie, before I knew anything about the cast, I was just watching it. And I'm in my head, I'm like, there's no way Patrick Stewart isn't in this movie somehow. I had the feeling that this was right up his alley.
Well, I mean, it's set in England, so yeah, it makes natural sense. And Bryan Cranston's in this,
and Emma Watson. I just really blew that. Who plays the actual human woman, Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson, yes, yeah.
She's in it. She's a mark of quality. When you see her in a movie, she's going to be good, whether the movie's any good or not. And and she's basically she and Hugh Jackman are really the two people that you would actually know that are playing people as opposed to doing voices for sheep, because the policeman and the reporter, and I didn't know who those guys were. It's the first time I'd ever seen them, I think.
So Ken, I'm curious because I had this thought cross my mind that, so I'm getting married next year. Obviously you have conversations about what your future looks like, what you want, for your family and all that stuff. One thing I've talked with my fiance about is my love for movies, what movies I want to introduce to my future kids and everything. I think that this is a great precursor for, if you just want to watch a movie with, you mentioned your niece, you're able to have that experience. If I was wondering how my child would react to something like a murder mystery, I love the Knives Out franchise. I feel like this is the kid version of Knives Out because
that's pretty good. I'll give you that. That's pretty good.
At one point when they're introducing the human characters through the letter reading, I was like, I feel like I've seen this movie before. Yeah. They've done this, haven't they?
Yeah, that's great. I wouldn't have thought it. You're right on there. And Knives Out, those movies are great.
Yes.
Yeah, and we've done a couple of them here already on the club.
All but the first one, actually, which is
we
really
never
funny.
did do the first
Isn't
one.
that right?
Yeah, we've done Glass Onion and we've done the third one, but we've never actually done Knives Out. This movie also did a really good job of subtle humor.
Yes.
One of my favorite jokes in this movie was shortly after everything happened, the police are there, and then the butcher is in his car, and he's just counting the sheep. And like, what's he doing here? He's like, oh, he's taking tally because he wants to butcher these sheep. And like he gets to like 11 and he starts to yawn, and then the next time it goes back to him, he's just sleeping.
Counting sheep, obviously.
Hilarious bit. Really good joke.
And the idiocy of they sent this reporter to cover this festival that nobody shows up. And they ran that joke about 5 times, and it worked every time.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it did a nice job of balancing a serious subject, then the mystery, then the humor, and then it was able to, like I said, pull on your heartstrings a little bit. You were rooting for the sheep, you were rooting for especially the little winter lamb, and I thought it blended everything really nicely together, and it flowed really well. And at the end, you felt like, that you'd accomplished something. And I was surprised because, when I didn't really know what to expect. I really didn't. I tried to go in not knowing a lot about what this was about. And I would say it was about 30 minutes in. It's like, man, this thing's very different. And then it kept going. It was like, this is a very unique, and in your apt comparison to the Knives Out, I think this was a smart way to handle this type of movie. And I wonder, even though, and I've just looked at the box office, Kent, it's made good box office.
And remember, it's Amazon.
And it's Amazon.
Not only did it make good box office, but they pull their movies quickly so they can get them on Prime.
Get them on the streaming.
It was only in the theaters for like 3 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because it went on, I think it went on Prime, 2 weeks ago?
I'm not sure, but that sounds about right.
About 2 weeks ago. And I think it came out in June. So bang, bang.
But I wonder if this is going to begat other films like it.
Just kid versions of other adult films like Knives Out.
What's funny that you mentioned is that
maybe not necessarily to that degree, but it's just like how it was made and just, combining the live action with the CGI, but, just in the storytelling. I wonder if people are going to look at this and they're going to look at the box office and say, there's something to be had here.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you mentioned that because so earlier this year I watched Transformers 1, which is the animated, whatever origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, and I believe that's also an Amazon Prime movie too, and that it also had a shorter run in theaters, and it feels like maybe that's what they're setting up for because truthfully, the Transformers franchise that Nick and I has mostly grown up with, that's pretty aggressive, it is
very aggressive,
ultra violent. It's PG-13, but you can't take a 10-year-old to that movie, but you can show them the cartoon version and someone legitimately gets blown in the chest. They get just blown up in this movie, but it's a cartoon, it's animated. So it's not as, it's just not as egregious as the Michael Bay films are. So I wonder if that is like kind of a policy of what if we see a franchise like this and work our way backwards and make it a different version of it.
To be fair, I was 10 years old. I was 10 years old when the first Transformers movie came out, the Michael Bay one, and I was fine.
Yeah,
but I turned out okay.
We lived in a hardened time.
We did.
Yeah.
The only thing that changed for me was I had like 3 Megan Fox posters in my room.
That's fair.
Gee, I'm shocked.
What's wrong with that?
Very, very. What's the word? Influential time to be 10 in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, it is.
Good time for movie posters too.
I think what you're getting at is, remember, this came from a streamer. This came from Amazon, right? And they put stuff up that is designed to attract different kinds of audiences. They don't necessarily care as much about the box office, but when you could take, I think this did like over 100 million at the box office, kid movie, put it on the streaming. I assume that this was one of their big movies for the first 2 or 3 weeks it was up. I mean, I can't imagine that it wasn't.
Probably.
And this is something that you're going to see more and more of from your Prime, I would guess Netflix. Disney, this is already what they try to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Apple is going to get into that game or not. But as if you watch how the movie business works, the movies that are doing anything in the theaters right now are really kids movies and event movies like Odyssey, right? And other than that, movies come out and they kind of flat. Well, this is to get that audience by doing what you're talking about, making a smart kids movie, right? Making a good movie for kids, so people like us will also watch it on the Prime.
That's always been the
catch. Go to the theater. We might not go to the theater because we're not going to go to a movie theater full of 7-year-olds. Okay, just not going to happen. But we might watch it on TV once we've heard, or on streaming, however you watch it. Once you've heard, hey, this is a good movie, and people watch it, they find out it's a good movie, and that's how it. And that's exactly what Netflix and Prime and Disney and Apple in particular want, because those aren't so associated with TV networks where Peacock and Paramount and Hulu's ABC, isn't it?
Yeah, or Hulu's Disney. Yeah.
Disney, ABC.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it.
Anything else to add? I enjoyed it. It was good.
Yeah.
It was very good. I wasn't sure about Nick. Nick was trying to play coy with us over there, but apparently you liked it too.
Well, it was fine. It was solid.
Yeah, he was going through something, so yeah.
I
don't blame him.
The
movie does make you feel something. I'll say that too.
The movie does make you feel something.
So, if I can attest to you that if there's something that if it hits you in the right emotional spot, it'll get you.
Right.
It'll get you.
And I'm fully acknowledging I was in a weird headspace last night when I was watching this movie. And it's not affecting I enjoyed the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a solid movie.
It is Sheep Detectives on Amazon Prime.
It'll be there for a while too.
Yeah, yes, it will.
Kent, before we get to next week, I assume you've seen the Odyssey?
I have not.
Okay.
Because I want to go to it on an IMAX.
Okay.
And guess what? There is no IMAX theater in Lincoln.
That's right.
And
Council Bluffs, Kent. We'll watch it this weekend.
I will be coming to Council Bluffs probably next week. My wife had cataract surgery on one eye this week, and she wants to go. So she's got 3 more days, I think, of the eye drops and stuff, and then we're going to go up and see it in Council Bluffs.
Okay,
all right.
Very nice.
There we go.
You'll probably actually avoid most of the theater crowds. Hopefully, they've thinned out by then.
That was my theory as well.
Mm-hmm.
I went on Tuesday night this week at a 6 p.m. showing. It was sold out. It was incredible.
Yeah, well, then that's cheap movie night, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's true.
So that you're asking for it going on.
That is fair. Good point.
So Nick?
Yes. So we still don't know yet who's going to be filling in next Friday.
Whoa.
So I will I'll take my movie club pick. But John, I've got a choice for you since I'm going to be subjecting you to this.
Is this going to be like a Sophie's Choice?
Would you like to watch the Springsteen movie, which I said a couple weeks ago I wanted to do?
Mm-hmm.
Or would you like a secret other pick of another movie that recently came out?
I like what's behind door number 2.
Do you want door number 1 that you know, or do you want mystery door number 2?
So do I want the evil that I know or the potential evil that I don't?
Door number 2 could be Gremlins in New York. That could be a lot of fun.
That's true. I'll take door number 2.
Next time, we are going to Prime to watch Masters of the Universe.
Oh, God.
Nick, I wish you would have just done Springsteen twice. That would have been even funnier.
So, it has been on people have been talking about it in the chat, which is cool because it has been, I have been wanting to watch this and I didn't realize it was hitting. I saw yesterday that it had finally come out to Prime. So I'm like, oh, perfect.
Yep.
So now it's either Springsteen or this. And my next movie, I do think it's going to be an actual movie, but I wanted Josh to be here for that one.
Right.
So Masters of the Universe next week. We're going to the 80s, John. You love the 80s.
You love the 80s, John.
I love the 80s.
I had about, I had at least 2 or 3 of the figures, and I did watch the cartoon.
Nice. So you'll love this. This movie's built for you.
Yeah.
Much like Sheep Detective was built for me.
I'll probably laugh at it, but yeah, sure. Why not?
I'm excited to see Skeletor. I love Skeletor. I just love the concept of Skeletor.
Well, that'll be next week in the movie club, Masters of the Universe. Kent, before we go, We were talking about LeBron while you were in the green room.
I heard that.
Surprised?
Am I surprised? No. Am I surprised it's Philadelphia? A little bit, but not much. In part because he was never going to go to Cleveland. There is no way that James Harden and LeBron James would ever be on the same team. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to go to Golden State. What's the point? If he wants to win, going there, you've got him and Steph Curry and, 2 wheelchairs. And so you get those 2 old guys. Miami might have been one. I thought that was a possibility.
Well, they thought it was a possibility.
They thought it was a real possibility
earlier this week.
But I think once if you start thinking about it, this is an all-in shot by the Sixers. And who knows whether, I think maybe it hinges on whether Joel Embiid plays 4 games, 40 games, or 80 games.
True.
True. And with him, all 3 are possibilities. And I think that rating they did I would have put the 2 Western Conference teams on top.
Yeah, in terms of the odds. And they're clearly the favorites in terms of the odds going into next season.
And recall that the other thing to keep in mind is that the Knicks did a number on the Sixers in the playoffs.
Yes, they did.
I don't know that adding LeBron gets them past that or not. But yeah, those are and here's the other thing with LeBron. He's 41,
2, right?
2. He'll be 42 by the time the season starts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's never really had the kind of serious injury that some of these older players get.
He has not.
And there's a high level of odds, I would say, that at some point that's going to catch up to him, because
you would think.
Because the injury itself might not be more severe than what somebody that's 25 is going to suffer, the same injury, but the recovery at 42 is almost impossible compared to the 25-year-old.
No, that's true. It'll be interesting to watch, certainly. And now the NBA can finally put out its schedule.
Wow.
All taken care of.
You can finally rest, Adam Silver.
Yeah.
And I think there'll be another schedule announcement in the next week or 2 of the 1, perhaps 2 Formula One races that will be added to the end of the calendar.
Oh my God.
I'm very excited for this.
Make them race at Bristol. That's what I say. Put them on a half mile and make them run in circles.
Those cars on a...
I'd love to see it. Nah, they'd bottom out. There's no way.
People's brains would turn into mashed potatoes, John.
Yes, they would. The Formula One fans would melt down.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true.
I'll bet those Formula One cars that go 215, 220 on a oval.
100%.
Oh, easily.
Because they go 200 on the.
They do.
There's a corner. There's the corner in Budapest where they come up and it's a blind corner and they're going full blast through it. Through an S, basically, isn't it? Term 4 or 5, where it's completely blind, pedal to the floor. Hang on.
Well, then even Zandvoort has that kind of it is a banked turn in Zandvoort, but that kind of simulates a NASCAR track.
Yep.
All right, that's a double dose of F1 we got in this week, so we're owed none next week.
Oh, you should be so lucky.
Have a great weekend. Thanks a lot for joining us.
See ya.
Thanks,
Ken
Ken.
Walgermont in the movie club. Coming up next, it's 100 days of the NFL. The Rams have a new look, and the Giants. It's a good thing Josh isn't here. He would really love our Giants story coming up.
Let's go.
On 1620 The Zone. All right, we're going to get to 100 days to the NFL here in a little bit, but we need to set up the contest.
Yeah.
The chance for you to win. And we have for you $50 gift certificate to visit Red Door Wood-Fired Grill in Exarban Village with great wings, great steaks, and more. $50 worth of gift cards. Here's what we're going to do. It is a One Beer Friday, so we are going to pick one of the winners at random. If you share your One Beer Friday submission, use the hashtag One Beer Friday on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. You must use One Beer Friday, hashtag One Beer Friday. So we'll pick one of the winners there. The other 4 will come when you are caller number 5. Earlier this week, a caller took umbrage with something Josh said, and then the baby responded.
Indiana.
So when you hear this,
Indiana.
be caller 5 from now through the rest of the Grum. This is really going to throw Jack off because I'm sure we're going to probably run it at some point during the.
I might run it a few times during Jack's interview.
Oh, exactly.
That is the first time I've heard that.
So between now, over the next 90 minutes, so it's going to happen a lot.
Yeah.
Over the next 90 minutes. So this will be the last warning. Be caller 5 when you hear this.
Indiana.
And you'll get $50 to Red Door Wood-Fired Grill from Unsportsmanlike Conduct and 1620 The Zone. And, of course, one of the One Beer Friday submissions. So go send us a picture of what you're drinking. Use the hashtag One Beer Friday on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Let's see. Want to stay on time for break. So let's take a quick break here. Come back. And when we come back, it's 100 days to the NFL and the happy hour featuring One Beer Friday here on 1620 The Zone.
Indiana. This is a segment open, and frankly, not a very original one. You see, Josh loves counting things down because he can't live in the moment.
This one, a long time have I watched. All his life as he looked away to the future, to the horizon, never his mind on where he was, what he was doing. You are reckless.
Anyway, this is 100 Days to the NFL. Oh, and there's an obligatory Brent Musburger clip because every Josh Open has to have one.
You are looking live.
Something on 1620 The Zone. Press the button, Nick.
Welcome to 100 Days to the NFL. Today, we're judging uniforms. My team, the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, Myles Garrett does look scary.
Long awaited, because they've been teasing this for like 2 months. Alternate uniforms came out. 2 different versions, by the way. The first, if you're watching it on the YouTube stream, is a throwback to the 60s, to the fearsome foursome. The all-white jerseys with the blue numbers and the blue helmets with the white horns. And kudos, by the way, to the social media team. This was an awesome picture.
Yeah, good photo.
So you got the, you got Kobe Turner there, and you got Fisk, and there, of course, is the freaky looking, Myles Garrett.
Do you think they had verse in there first, and then they were like, "Oh, we might have to wait on this announcement"?
Probably
pronounced verses.
Oh, that too.
But they've got them in front of the old locker, and it shows the nameplates of the old fearsome foursome: Deacon Jones, Lamar Lundy, he was bad man. Merlin Olsen, Rosie Greer,
known for his magic.
So really cool. I have never been a fan of all white uniforms in football, but I'm used to these because I've seen enough Rams highlights over the years. These get a thumbs up.
All white uniforms have been really big with the youth. I think.
Yeah,
I think it's growing with it.
Hate white uniforms.
Well, you are the contrarian, Nick. So I never speak about you in that turn.
I think every game should be color on color matchup.
Wow. Okay, that's.
What if both teams wear red? What if Nebraska's playing Arkansas?
What about Cincinnati?
Get better glasses. I mean, obviously, for cases where that isn't possible, then sure. But if you can wear your primary color, I think that you
all white. You can get away with all whites better, in my opinion, if you have a colored helmet.
Yeah, and that's
which is why I hate when Nebraska goes all white, because it's a white helmet.
That's the one thing I don't like about these uniforms. I just want a touch of yellow somewhere. Every time I think of the Rams, I do think of the ram horn on the helmet, and I think of it just their yellow is symbolic to me. I would like it to be there.
Now again, this is a throwback, and it's almost a complete replication. Now the horns are still the ones that are the new age horns, but they did a pretty good job, I thought, of replicating the old look of the fearsome foursome.
Okay, so that was my next question for you. Do you wish they would have leaned more into it, like even with the old horn and then the silver instead of just the white and the blue? No, I kind of like
the fact, and we're going to see it with the next batch that they came out with. I like that they kept the modern horn, but did the old uniform. I actually like that because you're still putting your stamp on what's today with a nod back to yesteryear. So I thought these were pretty good. Then the others that they did are a throwback to the 1951 World Champions. This is the 75th anniversary of the first World Championship in Los Angeles. The yellow jerseys.
There you go, Austin.
Yellow.
Soul, as they call it, with the blue numbers. And then they've got not the ram stripes, but the horizontal stripes on the sleeves. But these are a throwback to 1951.
I really F with these. These are cool.
They're very bright. Not
like
a huge fan of yellow as the primary color, but again, because it is an honor and it's another close replication of what they wore back then, I think these are pretty cool.
The pants rock. The pants are phenomenal.
These are really good pants.
Yes.
Yeah, the white pants, and they've got the thin blue and yellow stripe down the side.
And also the helmet is perfect. I mean, that is exactly how the helmet. That's how the helmet should look.
I like
Yes.
the
it is the
sleeve
modern
stripes
helmet.
a lot too because it is a cool classic look.
It does come across very Cal-ish. This is a very Cal Berkeley uniform.
Well, they are in California.
That is true.
Yeah.
They are not located in Berkeley, however.
Someone's suggesting blue socks. I've seen a form of this with blue socks. I wouldn't object to that.
Yeah. As much as I do like the pants, I do have to agree with some of our YouTube commenters. I don't know that the pants exactly fit with this look, but again, it's an homage to the time.
It is. I mean, it's pretty close replication of what they had. And you know, when they did the 75th anniversary uniforms, when every team did throwbacks in the 70s, this is what they wore, was this version. So
I'm glad
and the fact that it's the 75th anniversary, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Do you think they'll ever do a St. Louis throwback? Like, will they do a greatest show on turf?
Someday, but you know what?
They missed their 25-year window.
I kind of hope they don't.
Really?
Really?
I kind of hope. I mean,
If
yes,
they did, would
they
you?
did win they did win a Super Bowl in St. Louis.
Color 5 right now.
But I was never a big fan of the dark blue and the darker gold. It just, I'm kind of glad they went that way because then you can definitely separate. These were the St. Louis Rams. These are the LA Rams.
Remember when they added the white pants with the dark tops with the gold? That was not the look. That was not. They should have kept it all primary and everything.
I like the brighter blue. I like the brighter yellow or gold. I didn't really care for the old St. Louis Ram uniforms. Thankfully, we won our first Super Bowl wearing our originals, original blue and yellow.
This is probably a medium take, but I think it will come back because
it probably will.
Those San Diego Chargers deep blue uniforms made a return.
They did
as like alternates, and those were like the LT days and everything. And those are the Charger uniforms I grew up with. But the minute you see the powder blues, you're like, why did you ever change? You should have never changed.
Absolutely.
Chargers logo, low key, one of my favorites too.
I
like the bold.
I mean,
I like
the LA teams look great.
Yes,
it's just another reminder that they should be in San Diego still.
100%.
They should never have come to Los Angeles. But anyway, so there's a look at the Rams. Here is a look at the Giants.
Ooh.
So this was looks like the Giants social media team put out, some videos of meetings that happened back during the OTAs. And this is Nagy, the offensive coordinator. Of course, Bears fans will remember him from his days as the head coach.
Yeah, he's been great.
And he is giving a presentation to the offense back in April. And they are trying to be a more physical offense. So like with a lot of introductory pieces, there's a lot of buzz phrases, and there's key words, and there's acronyms. And so with this slide that he's showing, the words that they're using to say, these are our emphasis points for our offense this year. We're going to be physical. We're going to be tough. We're going to be smart. And we're going to be detailed.
Also known as PTSD.
Oh, no.
PTSD.
That's
physical, tough, smart, detailed.
Batista.
Yes,
Yikes.
the Giants offense, who's probably over the last 12, 15 years, has given Giants fans plenty of post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Yep.
The PTSD offense.
And then, this one's for Chance, but it's unique that in New York they would have PTSD.
Wow.
Got to be careful about that. I'm just saying.
Wow.
Just saying.
So congratulations, Giants.
Can I just say this too? I'm always confused as to why they have, I understand in colleges and especially high schools, you have to have these buzz phrases and catchphrases. Like I even remember ours from our time at Sydney High School. But for these grown men who some might be in their 30s, sitting in a room and having someone say, these are the qualities we need in our football team, I think they know. I don't think they need an acronym to get it down. I think that they figured it out by now.
Yeah.
You could probably just say, hey, we're going to run the football. And here's our passing concepts. Here's the things we're going to do to be successful on third down. But this is what Matt Nagy is, if this is what he's worried about in April, that's totally fine. Totally fine.
YouTube commenter Levi in Colorado. How about courageous, tough, explosive, CTE?
The NFL would love that one.
For
So would Will Smith.
I would change it. I would go creative, tough, explosive for offense. We're going to be creative. We're going to be tough. We're going to be explosive. Just remember the letters, ladies and gentlemen. CTE.
Can you imagine that? The offense is gathered up before the game. They're getting all riled up. Cam Scatterbo just did another backflip with his not broken leg. And Jackson Dart, bring it in, boys, bring it in. CTE on 3. 1, 2, 3, CTE.
Incredible.
That would rock.
All right, coming up next, it's happy hour time. We need to have an intervention.
Oh, no.
For the Southeastern Conference. It has been a week for them. So we're going to do that. We're going to do a little bit of content, and then Jack Mitchell's going to join us.
Wow.
And it's a one beer Friday. We're going to dig into our refrigerator and enjoy a beer. You too can send us a one beer Friday submission, and Nick will pick one at random for a chance to win $50 to Red Door Wood-Fired Grill.
I will.
Also, be listening for the drop.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to play it now because it's not time yet.
Somebody missed it.
I just did it earlier.
He did do it earlier, and we still have a couple more $50 gift cards to Red Door Wood-Fired Grill. We will be doing that over the course of the next hour. It's the happy hour on a Friday. That means it's a One Beer Friday next on 1620 The Zone.
I drank beer with my friends. Sometimes I had too many beers. I liked beer. I still like beer. Had beers, have some beers. One beer, drink beer, drinks beer, drank beer, and drinking beer.
Upstairs, downstairs, where was it? I don't know, but I had one beer.
Friday!
You probably have beer center each week. Ralph Club, biggest contributor. Yeah, for that.
I like beer. I don't know if you like beer, Senator, or not. What do you like to drink?
Next
I had one beer. Friday.
Hanging out and having some beers with friends, which I gladly do, and which I fully embrace.
Well, you think it was? Nope. It was one beer. Friday.
The weekend has arrived. It's a One Beer Friday. And great to have you with us, John Bishop, Austin Jacobson. Produced by Nick Grimm.
That's me.
Nick!
Notice how he only says produced by Nick Grimm when I make a slight mistake.
What? You made
I don't
a mistake?
think it's on purpose. What
do you mean?
I couldn't find the pot or the right channel for the bed. I'm still getting used to the new board.
That's all right.
I kind of drowned out John
Listen,
for a little
that
bit there.
new board looks like it could sail across the seas.
I feel like I'm piloting the Enterprise.
Wow.
Still haven't figured out which pot is which?
I mean, no.
What's your favorite type of pot?
The legal kind in legal states.
Dang.
Well, this is a very legal board. There's nothing wrong with this
That's
board.
right.
It's not an illegal board.
All this pot's legal here.
Well, it is a One Beer Friday, and we're glad to have you with us. Coming up, Jack Mitchell's going to join us at the bottom of the hour for the Super Friends Roundtable. We do have some content, but as we crack open these beers, and you too can crack open your beers and send us a picture of what you're drinking, whether it's beer or not, because someone's going to win $50 to Red Door Wood-Fired Grill in Exarban Village by just sending us a picture of what you're drinking, and use the hashtag One Beer Friday, please. Nick will pick one at random, and he'll hook you up with $50 to Red Door Wood-Fired Grill. This week has wrapped up quite the week for the Southeastern Conference.
No doubt.
They are officially in cope mode. The old saying of once is a happening, twice is a coincidence, three or more times is a trend. The SEC is now trending. They are trending away from being the conference of national champions, especially in the sport they love the most. That would be football. And all this week, it has been about strength of schedule, strength of conference. Our 9 games are tougher than your 9 games. And the comments have been coming from everywhere. The comments have been coming from all over the place. Here was Lane Kiffin earlier this week. Not that quote, but a different one.
I just think that it's going to cause issues that we've already seen until we can get into a world where people can actually look at teams and say, that team that is 9-3 with their schedule is a better team than that 11-1 in a different conference, which now I think we aren't even close to doing that. I think it causes a problem.
I always have, well, I haven't always. Over the past year, I have grown so tired of this strength of schedule argument, because strength of schedule will always be a biased and opinionated arbitrary stat. Because the only way you can truly determine
arbitrary
is because to determine strength of schedule, you have to determine who is good and who is not.
Sure.
But to determine who is good and who is not is usually, in college football terms, by polls and by people making their own biased opinions on who they think is good and who is not. Now, granted, I understand. We could go through, and it was even an off-air conversation we said to start the show about if you had to vote for the top 25, the bottom 10 of that 25 are much harder to figure out than the top 15,
Absolutely.
Right? But in that same sense, we are still being biased in the picks that we would make for who we would have in the top 15. I hate that the strength of schedule always comes up, because you're never going to truly figure it out. There's no mathematical formula that fits or figures out strength of schedule, because it only benefits teams that rank high in polls. You don't actually determine who is good and who is not, except by taking opinions of others and adding it into this ridiculous equation that you're trying to perform.
The richness of this entire argument, by the way, Nick Saban also weighed in on it earlier this week. The richness, though, of this argument is it's coming from one of the two leagues that gets more benefit of the doubt than anyone else. And the SEC generally has gotten even more benefit of the doubt than the Big Ten in recent years. And now all of a sudden I would understand these arguments better. I would understand the notion of perceived strength better if they were coming from the ACC or the Big 12.
Yep.
Because they're the ones that are getting left out. They're the ones that are not getting as many of the at-large bids. And as we go over through time, no matter if it's a 12 team, a 16 team, a 24 team, whatever that stupid number ends up being, over time, it's going to be Big Ten and SEC schools that are always going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. College football is a sport that has always been about perception. And to some people, that is very frustrating. They don't like it. They just want an NFL style, line them up, best record gets in. Period. End of story.
All 32 teams are eligible to be able to win it because there are 32 teams, that sort of narrative.
You can't do that in college unless you want to completely dismantle what college football has always been and college sports has always been. And that is every state's got a team. Everybody's got something involved. There's not a finite number. The NFL, 32 teams. And they don't expand every single year.
Yep.
But in college football, you have 138 football teams. Oh, by the way, don't even get me started on the group of 6 teams who never get any benefit of the doubt, most of which are eliminated the day the first ball is kicked off. So it's kind of rich to me to hear these kind of arguments, whether it's coming from the SEC or the Big Ten, that, well, but our 9-3 is better than your 11-1. Or our 8-4, which we ever get to the 2014 playoff. God, I can't wait for our 8-4 is better than your 10-2. By that point, who gives a rip? You've already lost 30% of your games. Well, here was Nick Saban on this subject today.
Well, I think first of all, whoever wins a national championship doesn't define who has the best conference. I think the best conference gets defined by how many good teams do you have from top to bottom, and I think the SEC has a lot of good teams from top to bottom. So I do think that the Big Ten has had 3 really, really good football teams. I mean, Michigan had a great team, beat us in overtime in the playoffs, 3 years ago. Ohio State, Indiana, they had really, really good teams. We continued. Last year we had 5 teams in the playoffs as an SEC conference, which says that there's, pretty good depth in this league. And a couple other teams, Vanderbilt and Texas, could have got in. So there's a lot of good teams in the SEC. I think every coach is trying to get his team to play at the highest level possible and hopefully get the best results possible. And if that leads to a championship, that's the ultimate goal. But I don't think they feel pressure just because somebody else won a couple championships.
It's the quote at the very beginning, though. The best conference isn't determined by the champion. And this has been an argument, Josh and I tend to believe a little more to what Nick Saban is saying. I believe the true measure of a conference is how are you top to bottom. Certainly how you do at the top probably weighs a little bit more than how you do at the bottom. But I mean, we saw this in the NFL. The Patriots dominated the AFC East, which was a putrid division for years before Buffalo finally got good. And so it's possible you can have great teams come from bad divisions or conferences. So I tend to look at a conference in terms of how they do top to bottom. And certainly from the SEC's perspective, they have some arguments to that point. I also think, though, it can be a little disingenuous because, let's face it, for the last 20 years, last 15 out of the last 20 years, whatever the number's been, The SEC's won all the national titles.
Right.
And so they've been able to go out there and say, well, we got the best conference. Look, we got the champs. And we had all these. And they also had, and sometimes in the 4-year playoff, in the 2-year, or the 14 playoff and the 2-team playoff, sometimes they dominated the whole thing by having both teams in the final.
Yeah.
So they had that argument going for them. So I think it can be a little disingenuous to just kind of dismiss and say, well, they're still not the best conference because they're not the best top to bottom. I get the argument, but it does kind of land a little funny when it'd be different if all 3 of the national champions the last 3 years came from Ohio State.
Right. Yeah.
If that were the case, you could, then make the argument, well, it's just one team.
There's 3 different teams.
But the fact that it's been 3 different teams, and oh, by the way, one of them was Indiana.
Yes.
Which is the equivalent in the SEC of Vanderbilt winning a national championship.
So to your point about the depth of the conference and all that comes with it, it is very easy to look at the overall records and point on both sides of the aisle when you compare the SEC and the Big Ten and say, well, the SEC must be better because they had more teams that had double-digit wins, and they had more teams that, were in the college football playoff, and they had more teams that had all this depth. I think it does take, this is again, goes back to my opening argument and kind of the frustration that comes with it, that just because you have a lot of teams that eat up your middle pack and they, are cannibalizing each other and they eat each other up, does not mean that your conference necessarily has tremendous depth. I think it just means that your conference is close in rank, right? Everybody is comparable to another.
Sure.
So if that's what, if it is true, and whatever you choose to believe, if you're like, oh yeah, all these teams are good, whatever the case is, that's fine. I think there is something to say about if you go into the weeds of the conference games and who beat who. I think this past year of the SEC is a great example, actually, of what the opposite of what I'm talking about, which sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but just follow me here. So a lot of the teams in the SEC last year went 7-1 or 6-2 in conference play. They were in the top half, competing in the top 25 for college playoff, the college football playoff bids. A lot of those teams beat each other up. It was kind of like the 2009 Texas-Oklahoma Tech circle of who's going to win the Big 12 South. It was this team beat one team, another team beat another, this team beat then that team, and it was just kind of an endless loop and cycle of these teams beating another. Notably, I think one of those that kind of stands out the most to me is the Georgia and Alabama in that as well. Like, you have that a couple of years back and forth where it was like, okay, well, which one is going to come out? How do you suffice one to the other? That sort of stuff. The same logic still does apply to the Big Ten. They just don't have as sexy records that go next to them. The Big Ten had 9-4 Michigan, 9-4 USC, 9-4 Iowa, 9-4 Illinois, 8-5 Minnesota. Yes, that doesn't sound the same as when you line up the college football playoff records combined with 10-3 Texas, 10-3 Vanderbilt, 10-3 Oklahoma, 11-4 Alabama. But we didn't get to see Michigan go up against Alabama. I would argue that Alabama and Michigan are much closer than what those two records. Immediately someone would point out and be like, well, Alabama's got to be better than Michigan. They didn't lose as many games. They had more wins, that sort of stuff. I think that they're much closer in perspective from last year than what maybe just the general narrative of what we're talking about and what Nick Saban brings up in the depth of conference.
Well, herein lies part of the problem. And one of the reasons why I beat the drum so hard for not backing out of non-conference series, which LSU, by the way, did this week. If you really want, the good thing is, in a sport like college basketball, for example, it's a lot easier to figure out which conference is better than the other because there's data points. There's a lot of data points. There's a lot of non-conference games featuring, the Dukes versus the Texases, or the Creightons versus the Nebraskas, where you can now compare, because we've seen how some of these leagues and some of the teams in those leagues do against other leagues. Basketball, of course, they pick a 68-team tournament. Now it's whatever the damn number is now. But I think they can do a better job of that because you get a better idea of which conference is better than the other. Sure, the lion's share of the games are still played within the league, but you have a dozen or 13 or so non-conference games for each team every year where you get some cross-pollination. You get some SEC versus Big Ten. You get some Big Ten versus ACC. You get some ACC versus Big 12. You get some Big East versus SEC, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In football, you only get 12 games. So the number of data points is already going to be small. Now you've got all of these schools who are backing out, like LSU did earlier this week, of power versus power non-conference games. One of the biggest problems we have, if you truly want to try to get any kind of indication just how good an SEC is versus a Big Ten or a Big Ten is versus a Big 12, is when you play each other, especially in the regular season. Because, yeah, we can point back and say, well, look what they did in the bowl games, or look what they did in the playoff. Well, first off, the damn bowl games are now nothing more than an exhibition. And it was from 1 year earlier. The teams, as we see, change all the time. What we really need, if we were really earnest and sincere in wanting to determine true conference strength, we would be encouraging all of our conference members go out and at least schedule one good non-conference game every year.
Or
give us some data points. Give us something to tell us, hey, maybe this league is better than that league. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better than if we just completely ignore each other until we get to the postseason.
Or this is a COVID, whatever pipe dream that happened just on a whim, but wouldn't it be interesting to see every year that the Big Ten and SEC, they would never do this, but it would be interesting to see every year in the non-conference, they said, okay, we're going to pit our ones versus ones, our twos versus twos, and down the conference line. Now, obviously, you've got 18 in the Big Ten. So
exactly,
whatever.
You got the weird numbers.
You'd figure it out, but I think that would give you something for us as fans to say, we kind of know now because we've seen head-to-head, and yeah, year in and year out, everybody's a little different. It all shakes up. But if you saw Georgia play Indiana in the, I don't even want to say opening week, like you get your, filibuster game, and then you can play week 2, your non-conference, the Big Ten SEC Challenge, much like college basketball does.
Sure.
It would be, just to go along with this narrative, Ole Miss would play Ohio State, A&M would play Oregon, Alabama would play Michigan, Oklahoma, USC, Texas and Iowa, Vanderbilt and Illinois, Missouri and Minnesota, Tennessee, Washington, LSU would play Nebraska, Kentucky, Northwestern, Florida, Penn State, Auburn and UCLA, Mississippi State, Rutgers, South Carolina, Wisconsin, and then Arkansas and Maryland. I feel like you would learn a lot, especially about this, mostly about this depth conversation that has been brought up by Saban himself.
Right.
Because I'm not saying I would pick Nebraska to beat LSU, especially last year's version by any means. That would be an interesting game to watch, would it not? We would learn a lot about the Big Ten's depth more than anything else. I would love to see Washington play Tennessee. I think that's a very interesting game.
Sure it is.
I think that there would, in terms of college football intrigue and interest and what we could learn about bragging rights and actual data points when it comes to how do you value, because you're right. When it comes to how many more data points do we need to determine college football playoff bids, the more of that you have, the better. Because what do we always do when we get into week 10, 11, 12 of the college football season? It's, okay, you beat this team who lost to that team. Right. How do we value this win because that team is this, right? More of those points make sense when we're comparing two teams from two different places with a similar point in the middle.
Correct. Will they ever do it? I don't know, but I'm telling you, they could.
It'll never happen, but
man, it would help with the entire argument.
If the playoff
and then by the way, rotate the conferences.
Yes.
So it's not just always Big 10 versus SEC.
Yeah.
Some years you'll get Big 10 versus Big 12. Some years you'll get ACC versus whatever the case may be. And yeah, you've got the odd number of teams, so you can't match up everyone perfectly. But that's where you're going to get a better answer. Right now, all of this is just conjecture. All of this is people saying, well, we're better because we say so.
Yeah.
There's no proof of it. And you can't keep pointing back to, well, look what we did last year. Well, last year was last year. Mm-hmm. This is this year. You can't just pick teams, well, they were good last year, so they'll be good this year. You don't know that anymore.
Yeah.
You know it even less now because the teams are changing all the time.
But we also know that the answer, too, is that this is great for college football. It would take the strongest form of leadership from the college football playoff community to do something like this, that they would say, we need as many valid data points to come across. That's what we need. But what the college football playoff committee has proven from the beginning is that your resume is much better in amount of wins than quality of wins.
Yep.
That's all that it matters. And so you are incentivized, albeit by the fans. It doesn't matter what any of you guys think. We don't need to sell tickets. We could have not Memorial Stadium because it'll always sell out, right? But
Sure.
like we're down to Manhattan, Kansas State. We have no reason at all to schedule an ACC opponent at all. Because if we can get to 11 wins in the Big 12, we feel pretty good about our chance of potentially hosting a college football playoff game in Kansas State. There's no reason why Kansas State shouldn't be trying to go out of the way to schedule someone else. I know we're talking about Big Ten and SEC, and those are the names that we've brought up mostly. But even on that micro scale of two of the other Power Four conferences, Wake Forest has no reason to go out of its way to try to schedule a high group of 5. They would rather play Rice every single year and hope that Rice goes 2-10.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the amount of wins weighs way more than your quality of wins when it comes to being part of the Big Four and when you're trying to make a college football playoff.
When we continue, before we get to Jack Mitchell and the Super Friends Roundtable, we're going to get to some content. Speaking of one of those Power Conference versus Power Conference games, one is now off in basketball. And Germany and Scott Frost.
Mr. H?
Shaking hands emoji.
Designated Hitler.
No. No.
He said Mr. H. I had to hit the button.
We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone.
I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike.
All right. Content time. By the way, real quick, let me remind you, 1620 the Scramble or 1620 the golf tournament. Coming to the Metro August 21st. That's 4 weeks from today. Miracle Hills Golf Course, 8:30 a.m. shotgun start. 4-player teams. Get them registered today. 18 holes of championship golf, exclusive player gifts, complimentary food and beverage, VIP access to the after party at the Phoenix. Sponsored by Cutwater and T-Box. Looking forward to it. 4 weeks from today. Get registered now at 1620thezone.com.
The Duke-Michigan game, originally slated for Madison Square Garden, then moved to Miami due to a spat between the TV networks, is now off because of that same spat. So much for Prime Video cutting in on Big Ten turf.
This was the part of the 3-game package that Duke had carved out of the ACC contract to sell to Prime Video. And this, of course, was going to be the centerpiece game because it's the defending national champions. Now the game is off because the Big Ten says, no, that's our game. We own the rights to that game. So now they're not even going to play at all. And I believe Duke now is rescheduled with Texas Tech.
Well, at least they got a decent game. Texas Tech will still probably be one of those they're probably I don't want to say favorite to be in the tournament. The tournament's so big, everybody's getting in. But yeah, it does spark the question, though, that we're probably past the point of anyone trying to do the Longhorn Network style of, get your own program and everything. But would Duke basketball benefit by just being on Prime themselves? Almost like Notre Dame on NBC?
Well, Duke basketball would.
The ACC wouldn't like that.
The ACC wouldn't like it. And, because the majority of the money in that league still coming into football. That will be the interesting thing here when we get to the next round of TV renegotiation rights, is how much the schools individually will look at their own value and say, we could probably do better either on our own, or if we split things off, or maybe if we just partner with a certain select number of schools that may not even be in our conference.
That's right. Get ready to watch Nebraska football on YouTube TV, Nick.
Bryson DeChambeau is still miffed over the 2-stroke penalty he was assessed for improving his lie at the British Open. He says he would have been in contention for the title without the penalty. Should he be mad at the Open, or the rule, or himself?
I think that's a mixture of all three. I think the least amount should be at himself. This is actually somewhat of a practice that I think a lot of people do, but when you are Bryson DeChambeau, you bring a lot of unwanted attention to yourself.
Yeah.
And when you have more eyes that are on you, more people, for better or worse, are going to point out your mistakes and also the things that a lot of other people do that someone will point at a rule book and tell you can't. He's also been pretty, anti-establishment when it comes to a lot of the things with PGA. So if they have a reason to dock you, they will find a way to do it. So I think it's a mixture. He can be mad wherever he wants, but I did find it interesting. I think that this will be a conversation that carries on maybe into future events, is how closely is the eye watching on maybe the bigger names? Because, yeah, Bryson's a big name. He's not a front runner. But what happens when it's a mixture of both? It's a controversial character and a guy that's been competing so well.
Well, it's got to be applied equally, right? Across, and you're right. He's more watched because he is who he is. Why don't they have more rules marshals all across the course?
Great question.
To address these things as they happen, so it's not happening an hour after your round, that you don't have to go back to the eye in the sky. I realize it's a big place. There's a lot of golfers out there, but these are very rich, lucrative tournaments. There's plenty of people that they could have out there to make sure that if something weird is happening, and I know they do consult if they have an earnest question, but it'd be like officiating a basketball game and not having the refs actually on the floor.
Yep.
And then an hour after the game is over, oh, actually, that should have been a foul on you. We're going to take away those points that you scored. I get his point. He was still a little bit in the wrong, but I think there's a better way you can adjudicate these problems in golf.
It is interesting that you start and end the argument and not you, but just the general you, is that he did something wrong. He was caught doing something wrong. He was punished for doing something wrong, but everything in between is what's gray, right? The black and white's at the end.
Yep.
Diego Pavia is a Baltimore Raven no longer. He got cut yesterday. But hey, at least the Ravens have fourth-string quarterback Joe Fagnano.
Good pronunciation, Nick.
Thank you.
I mean, no one's surprised by this, right?
No. He's a 5'9" quarterback.
Yeah, he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
I saw somewhere on Twitter today, someone said, they kind of posted a fake meme of, one of the betting sites saying, here are the odds on his next employer or his next team or whatever. And they had like Wawa, Starbucks, just smaller jobs.
Put real estate. I will say this. I saw Bleacher Report obviously had to run with an article on this. They said his next future positions, and they listed the Kansas City Chiefs, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Los Angeles Chargers. And they were like, you would want to go to a place where there's an established quarterback where you're not going to be the center of attention. I don't think that an established quarterback's going to want Diego Pavia in the room hanging out with him. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to be like, oh, yeah, Diego, it'd be really great if you were hanging out with me.
It's like when you're at a family event and you're forced to hang out with your annoying little cousin.
Yes. Hey, mentor this fourth-string guy who may see 2 snaps
By
this
the way,
season.
Austin's Patrick Mahomes is pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Tried that.
Good job.
Pretty good.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
It's
could
not,
be a little
it's
more
not as
Kermit the
disturbing
Froggy.
as Josh's.
I like Josh's. Germany.
Whoa.
Has a new national soccer coach.
Mr. H?
It's not zombie Mr. H.
Okay.
Good guess, though.
That would be Argentina's.
And his first day with the team sounded awful familiar. Quote, if at any point you all think that I should leave, I will leave without severance pay. Jurgen Klopp said that to journalists. If you go after my family and don't leave them alone, I will leave.
That immediately invoked the infamous Scott Frost initial press conference when one of the first things he said was, you leave my family alone. Now, Frost didn't go as far as saying, and if you don't, I will leave you. But as soon as I saw that, I thought, wow, this is getting off to a rip-roaring start.
Yeah, it's usually good when you threaten your local media first and foremost to make sure that you establish power over them.
And there's some logic here because, yes, the European soccer community does get a little aggressive when it comes to how they cover the team, and sometimes the families do get involved. So it's not that he doesn't have a legitimate gripe. But to do it at your introductory press conference where everything is supposed to be, hey, and we're going to be great. We're going to make Germany great again.
Oh, no.
I have no comment. Move on. Nick, what's next?
Count Frisco's Nick Bosa, as not somebody who's going to miss Ryan Clark on ESPN. Bosa ended a long sabbatical on Twitter to tweet a thumbs-up emoji to the news that Clark got laid off this week. Clark has been vocal in the past about Bosa's political affiliation. Your thoughts?
Can I just say how easy it is? It's actually, here's the funny part about this entire
trigger
thing.
These people?
No, it's actually, what's much easier for Nick Bosa is to just not do anything. Literally if you were to just click the side of your phone with the lock screen and turn it off, nothing happens. Nothing comes up. You can keep all of your thoughts and opinions to yourself. And in fact, Mr. Bosa, it looks like you still did because you used no words to share your thoughts. You just said an emoji. And so what do you do instead? You just spark plug all this other conversation that goes off and people have to defend you and some people are still mad at you. I think it's a ridiculous thing. The ESPN layoffs are a different part of this. Bosa's political affiliation is a different part of this. Their relationship in between. It just seems ridiculous. And I don't know why someone doesn't just grab these people, probably because they're large human beings and very scary, and just say, hey, it's just easier to say nothing. Don't do it at all.
Ryan Clark must have been very unpopular. I've seen more people celebrating his demise than any of the other ESPN employees that got let go this week.
Interesting.
We'll finish up with one for you, Austin.
Thank you.
Panthers owner David Tepper.
Bang.
Not to be confused with our cool ex-boss, Dave Tepper, says, quote, we are a playoff team this year. Is David Tepper, once again, not our cool ex-boss Dave Tepper, smoking something funny?
Well, he knows that his team lives in the NFC South, so anything is possible. You could always be a playoff team if you just believe hard enough. That's the true Panther way.
This, of course, coming the day after they lost one of their best pass rushers.
Thank you for the reminder. I was hoping that he'd just come back. You know,
Yeah.
if they make the Super Bowl, he could. They did put that in the press release. They said he may be eligible to play in mid-February.
Oh, what? Has he got Patrick Mahomes' recuperative powers?
Yes.
Hey, my seal works.
Coming up next, it's Super Friends Roundtable time. Jack Mitchell will join us, and we'll discuss a lot of different things. Didn't get to the volleyball reseating conversation, but obviously there's some football things, and who knows what else Jack has in mind. So that'll be coming up next. Super Friends Roundtable on 1620 The Zone. for the Super Friends Roundtable.
Hey, I'm in
wait,
there.
you know what? It
Hello.
might help.
Do keep in mind it is motorcycle and bicycle season.
Oh,
Look
wait.
once and look again.
Oh,
Keep
that-
it moving with time saver traffic. I'm Chris Lofgren.
Oh, it's Lincoln traffic. Here's your Lincoln traffic report. Every light is mistimed. You're going to be stuck at a stoplight forever.
Wow.
Oh, and by the way, 27th Street still isn't 4 lanes all the way north to south. That's your traffic report. I'm Chris Lofgren.
You're such a turncoat. You're the
I am not a turncoat.
You are a turncoat.
You know I have had this argument forever. Forever, when we were hosting a show together, I went on and on and on about how 27th Street was so poorly timed and the traffic lights suck.
Listen,
right now.
you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when, I will find something and I'm good at it. When I make fun of Iowa, right? Of Iowa, they almost lose a game to some FCS team or something. And then inevitably, usually not even Iowa fans, a Nebraska fan will come back to me and be like, well, they sure have our number. This is happening right now because you can complain, but I bet when you leave work today from Omaha, when you arrived at work today from Omaha, I bet you did not move through Omaha like a hot knife through butter. In fact,
actually,
oh yeah,
I had to take a different way because the I-80 there was a crash.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, then but that's fine.
Believe it or not all Omaha drivers drive very well.
Oh,
there's a lot of people from Saunders County that come over here and they cause a lot of problems.
We don't discriminate the small town folk. All right, knock it off. That was a folk, Nick.
And I took a different way. I took Dodge Street over to Cass, and I got here faster than I normally get here on other days. It was amazing.
This conversation is so just invigorating to me because one of the first months that I lived in Omaha in 2024, I tweeted that I tweeted something along I don't know specifically, but I tweeted along the lines of something like, the interstate system isn't really the best way to travel through Omaha. And Jack Mitchell quote tweeted it right away. And I didn't know the lore of all the Omaha traffic updates and all this other stuff, but it's great to see it in person between the two of you.
At least I'm consistent. I don't even remember that, but at least I'm consistent.
Well, that is true. Defender of Lincoln is Jack Mitchell, ladies and gentlemen.
As he should be.
By the way, for those of you at our beautiful sister station, and we'll still call him sister station, KLIN, Austin Jacobson in for Josh today.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm Bishop. You remember me from such hits as, severe weather coverage, having to hold Jack's hand during election night.
Wow.
Stuff like that.
Working here for 16 years. Yes, we remember.
19 years, Jack. 19
Whatever.
years.
Dang.
Where are you at right now? by the way?
You were checked out for the last 3, so I don't count.
Sure, I
those.
was. Where are you at right now? How many years?
Oh, I thought I was like, I'm in our studios.
No. I know you're in the studio.
I am. I've passed you 19. I come up on 20.
Wow. You're sending your career off to college here soon, or maybe they've already been there for a year.
Yeah. My son is 21, so he was in diapers when I started. So
wild.
And he's still in diapers now.
Yeah, he is. He is right now. Going out downtown in Lincoln tonight, peeing his pants. I'm sure.
You're not going out with him tonight?
He hasn't invited me. I've suggested that might be a good time.
Good for him.
I tell him that I would handle the Amigos order kind of like a concierge.
Nice. Good move.
At the end of the night, because I'm not sure if the Youngs know how to do that. But
do the Youngs still do Amigos?
I don't even know. Well, there's no downtown one anymore.
That's
Although I continue to see that it is still, last I saw, it is still up for sale and still looks like an Amigos. And I'm always just thinking, if someone has the courage, we can reverse one of the great wrongs that's happened in commerce in Lincoln, Nebraska.
I'm blown away. I mean, we added Raising Cane's in downtown Lincoln. There's a lot of different places downtown Lincoln. How in the world is the most successful local / regional Mexican food chain does not have a downtown location right next to freaking campus.
Well, they were honestly out by those expensive high-rise skyscrapers that keep going up in downtown.
The building's still there, like Jack said. I don't understand.
I'm gonna guess the actual issue, seriously, is so much of their revenue came from after midnight, and no place is open late anymore or can get any place to work there. That's probably a problem. And when Woody retired as well, they had no one to man the ranch bar.
Deputy Woody, Sheriff Woody, man, he was the guy that was standing guard over the ranch bar, the salsa bar. Oh, good times, man. That's I mean that, and you know what? The best part was, a lot of times after bar crawl food, you're getting the bottom of the barrel. For a lot of places that have the White Castles and stuff like that, you're getting. With the Amigos, you got some high quality stuff for 1:30 in the morning.
Listen, I've had some good meals in my life. I've been to Tuscany. I've had some great seafood. I've had great steaks. In Lincoln and in Omaha.
Omaha,
but no, not really. But there is no meal that I enjoy and savored and just took in the entire, it was a whole body experience. Then Amigos at about 2 a.m. Just bring the bag home in the car. You can kind of feel the heat emanating off of it. Yes. Maybe grab a Mexi fry while you're driving. Ooh, it's hot, but I like the pain, and then bring it home. You find something on TV. You just lay it all out in front of you on the coffee table.
Most of the time you could catch like the third replay of, the college game day post-game show or whatever.
Yeah.
The one that Trev Alberts was on, whatever they call that.
Right.
College scoreboard final and watch the highlights of Nebraska beating
Trev Alberts, the Omaha athletic director? Oh, wait.
Maybe the last few minutes of like a San Diego State game you can still catch if you're lucky.
Sure. The Hawaii game had to have been on at that time.
Game. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you guys don't understand, but at UNK in Kearney, we would stop by the McDonald's on 25th because the one on the interstate was closed, so we'd go there. Or you try to stop by Paradise City and go hang out there with the ladies. If you stayed long enough, they'd make you breakfast.
Hey, did you see that this story that they had about the intersections in Nebraska with the most crashes in 2025?
Were they all roundabouts?
Well, first of all, typical Omaha, the Omaha stats were deflated because the police don't come to any accident there. There's got to be an injury for them to actually come, and so they didn't. So they're all like number 5 out of 10, and there was one in Bellevue, I think. But John, can you guess what the most frequent accident location in Lincoln and number 1 in the state in the somewhat faux stats was? Can you guess?
I think I know the answer to this, but should be rising soon on the list. And those of you who drive from Omaha to Lincoln and maybe use the Waverly exit to traverse your way through town, one that's going to be rising on the list pretty soon is the one at 84th and Highway 2, the T intersection.
Good pull.
When people are like screaming at 65 miles an hour heading in towards Lincoln, and then they realize, oh crap, I have to get in the turn lane to turn to 84th, and the turn lane's already backed up beyond where the cutout is. I've run into but I have come across 2 bad rear end accidents in the last 3 weeks. It's like people are like psychotic over there.
And like half the people in that turn lane are Amazon trucks.
Well, now they're high school rodeo trucks.
Marathon runners.
There's
also a lot of marathon runners in that line.
The reason I brought it up, go ahead, John. You want to finish that?
Is 14th and Superior.
Yes. 14th and Superior, the roundabout. The roundabout. Remember when they had to close lanes in that because people were? Remember that?
Listen, hey, you put a roundabout like west of Kearney, people will not figure that out.
Well,
like you could put infinity lanes in
Lincoln's
there.
Been roundabout. We've had roundabouts for what? 15 years at least.
Yeah, but listen, you're putting the roundabouts in all the wrong places. You got to put it in places where people can like drivers ed their way through it, right? You got to make it slow, put it 15 miles, like maybe eventually we'll crank that speed limit up. But the problem is you put it in a very major spot to begin with. Like the one by Pinnacle Bank, when it comes to state basketball and you see like a 57 county car trying to cruise through there,
Oh.
you're always getting confused.
John, we have a very good story about that roundabout, do we not?
Yes, we do.
That roundabout, when it opened, it was the double roundabout by Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Wasn't it the day it opened?
It was the day it opened, and John and I had this idea back when we used to do fun stuff like this that we wanted to do our show at the roundabout and see how people did navigating it. This was, I don't know, like 2011, 2010 maybe. And we didn't really have a spot, and somehow, I don't know how, but we got the Champions Club to host us.
Yes,
on their balcony.
Yes,
overlooking
the roundabout.
The roundabout.
Yes.
What day of the week is this? Like a Tuesday?
It was a midweek. Yeah.
It was a Monday. It was a Monday. I'm pretty sure because I remember that the Bears played on Monday Night Football, and Joe Gans, who was coaching then, wore a Bears jersey. We watched all the coaches walk into the stadium.
Yes.
And Joe Gans was wearing a Bears. I think it was either a Monday or Thursday. They had a game that night. But
and T.O. came over too, I believe.
We also invited Tom Osborne to watch the roundabout with us, and he said yes.
Yes. He came over and we watched the roundabout together.
We were like, oh man, we were like, he's gonna
by the way.
Newest Hall of Fame member of the state of Nebraska, by the way.
Yes.
We were like, oh man, we won't make a big deal about it. We'll just talk to him about things. And then he starts, I see him coming out of the stadium and walking up there. And I think John might've been on the air. And so I walked down to meet him. And he had I don't know if he had a knee surgery or if he had been.
Yeah, he did. He had some kind of, I think they did an arthroscopic deal because he was limping.
And so he was limping, and I'm taking him up the stair. Not taking him, but I'm having him follow me up the stairs. And he's limping, and I'm like, I just made Tom Osborne limp up the stairs to go sit and watch a roundabout with Bishop and me. And he did.
And magically we saw someone go through it the wrong way.
Oh God.
During the broadcast, we had one person
at least one
completely confused and went the wrong way.
The license plate start with letters or numbers? That's the real concerning question.
Probably numbers.
So the reason I brought this up, and I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything else, but the reason I brought this up is I wanted to tell you, Austin, Carney had number 2.
Ooh, can I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna get. It has to be Highway 30 and 2nd Avenue. Like 20. It would be 25th Street and 2nd Avenue.
2nd Avenue and 36th.
Oh, and 36th. Interesting. Okay. That I don't think that's a
Carney's
stoplight.
big enough that has 36 streets now.
It goes up to 56. It goes up to 56.
Whoa, 56. Yeah. You guys really spread out
they
there.
Have an express lane. Something Omaha would love to find out about.
Yeah.
Was that pretty bad there? Wow, you knew it. You were close. I mean, you were in the neighborhood.
Yeah. So because Cruise Night, which I think was last weekend, that's the Highway 30 stretch. That 2nd Avenue is the north-south. Highway 30, obviously east-west, and so that's where the main corridor is. I've seen a lot of T-bones there. The 36th and 2nd, I believe, is so the third. If it's 39th would be the top of the hill, where there would be again a big T intersection there. But if it's 36, that's everyone trying to get out of the Raising Canes. So that's why everybody's getting hit on their way out. So
of course, because Raising Canes is probably a delicacy.
Oh my God, yeah, it is. Are you kidding me?
That Raising Canes. Shout out to 97.7 The Zone listening in today.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
That's like when Temperature Tuesday at Runza causes traffic jams on O Street. I've seen that before.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember what fast food restaurant or something that was opening that caused the traffic to was it when the Chick-fil-A first opened?
Well, recently when the 7 Brew Coffee in Elkhorn opened, they had that like lined up down for miles.
But I'm trying to remember, wasn't there one in Lincoln
when they did the breakfast Runza? I know that one did over there on 56th and Vine.
The Lincoln 7 Brew coffees notoriously they'll hold you hostage for years. Like you'll be stuck in that line until 10 a.m. if you're not careful.
That speaking of my son and his girlfriend, they always go to 7 Brew, and I don't like. I mean, these things are sprouting up. There's been 5 of them that have opened in 2 years here. Like it's crazy. What do you get, Austin? Do you go there? Do you go there?
You know what's funny is that Omaha has the same number of 7 brews as Kearney, and Kearney got it first. And I was not there when it first opened, but it's a big thing in Des Moines where my fiance went to med school. And
there we go.
It is the nostalgia and the thought of like a drive-through, but it doesn't. It's not fast. Like they're not that quick. But for whatever reason, people just like it. I'll admit. The coffee isn't the best coffee you can get through like a drive-through or like a semi-fast experience. And they have the Energizer drinks that are fine. But yeah, I don't know if it's just the novelty of it that you don't get out of your car, I suppose.
My wife said she went there and she ordered coffee and they looked at her like she wasn't speaking in English. Like nobody gets coffee there, it sounds like.
It's all the lemonades and the Energizer drinks. Yeah, it's for the youth, apparently.
This is so weird now how, it used to be it was about the food. Now, all the popular drive-thrus, it's about the drinks. Whether it's coffee or the berry blast stuff or whatever the Energizer drinks that you're talking about, it's like, are we not properly hydrating ourselves anymore?
No, we're turning into the people from Wall-E, where we're all on the ship just drinking our slushies and such.
And some of it looks gross. There's this one place in Lincoln, they sell tea, and it looks like there's a bunch of like black beans on top of it. It's just like
boba.
Oh God, yeah. My daughter got into that for a while, and she was like, "Try it," and it was like a straw. It was 3 times the width, and I'm sucking up like tapioca balls. It's just like I've never drank tea and been like, you know what, this is missing some clear rice balls.
Tapioca. I will say this. As one who is not, I like tapioca. I've always liked tapioca.
That sounds about right.
I like it with my fruity beverages. I've never desired to have, what would go great with my Kool-Aid? A nice bowl of tapioca.
Listen, I'll say this. One thing that I do like about Lincoln and its drive-through ability comparative to Omaha. Omaha has definitely more choices, all that other stuff.
Sure.
I can't get a better drive-through breakfast anywhere in the state except for Lincoln. Like, and especially for some local places, you can get a quick, like, step out of the car, get in, get out quick. Like bagels, breakfast sandwiches, all that sort of stuff. You can get that way better than you can in a lot of places in Omaha. I'll give it that.
They're gonna come take you out of that room pretty soon. If you don't hear from Austin again, you know why.
And you know what? I'll probably end up back where I should be in the rural sandhills. Is probably what they'll send me. It'll be just fine.
Wow, we've gone this far. I've not mentioned anything about the Huskers today. I don't know how much if we're gonna have enough time to get into this. But. So earlier this week, I did a poll question, and it was you could pick one of these 4 games to win. And I said you consider everything, where the game is on the schedule, how good you think the team's going to be, whether or not it could be a big momentum lift. And Iowa won over Oregon, Ohio State, and who's the third? Indiana. And I was like stunned. And listen, for the longest time, Jack, we've been beating the drum. Got to have a rival. I think it's arrived. I think it is officially arrived because people in this state are now obsessed with Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I don't know if it's rivalry may not be the term for it, but it's at least a desperation to beat that overshadows almost everything else.
I agree.
It's just, and we've talked about this before, like, and when they did beat Iowa, you didn't even get to enjoy it because it was in 2022 and there was an asterisk by it because Mickey Joseph and Scott Frost and Matt Rule and all that, stuff took it over right away. So you haven't really, and in 2014, there was an asterisk after it. Like, you haven't really beat them in a way where you could savor it since you worked here.
Yeah, it's true. Nebraska hasn't beaten Iowa in a game where the Nebraska coach survived since 12, 13 when they beat Iowa.
Yeah.
In both second to last year. I guess it would be 2012.
I do remember being in Iowa City after that 22 game and waking up and the alert came in and they had Rule on game day as well. And, you're just so invested in that the game didn't matter after that. And it was so sweet being in Iowa City that night because I remember I was just like trouncing in people's faces. It was the best. There was no Iowa fans in their own bars. It's a great time. But then the next morning it was over and I didn't even understand what I didn't relish at the moment, that I wouldn't have that feeling again for a long time.
It may surprise me though, John, to answer your question. It's not that because man, getting a huge upset like that, like the other ones, oh man, that'd be something.
Yeah.
That'd be something.
Maybe we'll talk about that next week. But we
Okay.
got to run.
We got 6 weeks. That's fine.
Enjoy your tapioca tea.
So good to see you, Jack.
See you guys. Appreciate it. There you go.
That's Jack Mitchell.
That is
John
John Bishop.
and that's
Awesome.
the Grum. Austin
Jacobson over there on 16.
Thanks, Nick.
Stay cool, my friends. Bye.
Bye, Nick.